Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another night of American Riichi Mahjong League. My name is Max, otherwise known as Light Pink Yoshi sometimes, and I am joined here by Korak,
Hello, everyone.
who has been doing a lot of the commentary tonight. Today, we are bringing you an A2 game featuring four New York City players. We've got Kevin Ciboler, Kevin S. Or sorry, no, Kevin N. My bad. Ciboler as starting as East in a minute here. We've got Amy Haiku, Amy, uh, in the South seat. We've got Kevin S. Faylil in the West seat, and we have Claire in the North seat. Um, Riichi Nomi's fearless leader. Looks like the game is starting. First thing we see, dealer has two pairs, but no Dora. Looks like they're gonna try to move this hand towards maybe just a Tanyao. Sorry, three pairs. I can't read. Um, Moving forward in the hand progression, Amy's got some decent shapes. The 4-5 so Ryanman, a West pair that can be useful for some safety later. And some Dora acceptance as well as potential Itsu chance. Failil, Toyman from our current perspective, has the 2-3-4 shape in the Pinzu, but not a ton of acceptance otherwise. A lot of awkward shapes, especially that Sozu block. And Claire has a pair of her seat win the North, but there is not a ton else to go with the hand. She does have a floating door. Maybe she can connect there. Try to make something in the like the 1-2-3, 2-3-4 Sanchoku range.
Well, I think
Uh,
the hand to look out for is off on the right with Amy. We have Ishan 10 for regular hand, or even Itsu upgrades, which would be really nice, especially if you draw that door.
Yeah, it's to upgrade, or yeah, especially the door upgrade would give her a Sun Menchan with a high out 9 pin for the full straight. She could cut that 7-9 Kanchan. Um, Looking around the table, we're seeing some general progression. Failil has converted a lot of their useless tiles into connected
リーチ
shapes, has found a Ryanshanten. Amy finds the Pinfu out. We're going to see a quick Riichi. That is a guest win pair, so this is a Pinfu waiting on the 3-6-0. Looks like there's going to be 3-6-0 and 1-4-0 on the wall, so four total weights. Failil doesn't have a ton of safety. Just chooses decides to push with her own Rian Shanten.
We might see something here, but I think the one mon's pretty safe. You're looking here, you'd like some more value, but you'll definitely take the nice 2,000, maybe more, some more Urasuma.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I mean, it's East One. It's the first hand of your first session of the A2 league. You definitely just want to get things off to a quick start. We see the Suchi 3-mon come out from Kevin. I'm gonna have to get used to referring to people as their real names, as opposed to their in-game names. And the yeah, the safe-looking one-mon, the Sotogawa, comes out from Kevin and the dealer. Everyone just generally playing safe tiles. No one really seems to be
ツモ
trying to fight too hard, and we see the sumo come in on one of those 3-6-0 we said were in the wall. No Ura, so it's just going to be 320, 700, 1300. We're just going to put Amy in a quick lead. She's going to try to build on that with her dealer turn here. Looks like the hand is not actually that bad. It's got two Ryanmen in it as well as a completed run, a very solid Dora acceptance, and even a Manzu Itsu shot if she draws correctly. Uh, Kevin fills in a Kanchan over on our right, has a Chun pair, but not a whole lot of value with the hand. Chooses to get rid of the Manzu shape, maybe trying to go for a Chanta here, given the significant amount of 7-8-9
ポン
tiles in their hand. Pawns the Chun, yeah, cuts the 4, so definitely going for that Chanta. Uh, Claire, up across from us, has some solid completed shapes as well. Maybe a potential 6-7-8 Sanchoku, pretty easy Dora acceptance. Pairs the 6 pin, which lends itself towards that 7-8-9 Sanchoku potentially, but would need to resolve the Sozu Penshan above it before anything else. And lastly, the maybe the most dangerous hand. We've got two Dora in a completed shape already, sitting there for Kevin. Has two of the 5 pin in an Arianman shape, as well as a 9 pin pair and a couple other shapes. Really, only the 1 pin is a floating useless tile.
Well, you have an interesting problem off on the left because you have the double Kanchan 1-3 so 7-9 so. So the question is how you're going to fill it in, and that draw doesn't really help.
Yeah,
Just go ahead and
choose.
cut one of those shapes. I think I would have gone 6 block though, or it could have just cut the 1 pin.
Yeah, We see Amy fills in one of her Kanchan, chooses not to keep her Dora acceptance in favor of the wider Ryanshan 10 that has more pair acceptance. Uh, Kevin to our right has filled in their 789 in Sozu and is looking for a head for the hand to try to convert this Chanta, but we'll definitely just take a Chinomi hand to just try to move the dealership along.
He
Uh,
said we don't need to worry about a head, and pretty awkward shape, but a really wide headless Ishan 10 now.
and Amy has also drawn a very wide headless Ishan 10 with that 3-mon. Chooses to cut the 4-so. Feeling good about the 6-8 acceptance. Maybe just feels okay given that we just saw the 7-so come out from Kevin on the left. Uh, Nothing really useful being drawn for Kevin to progress their Ishanten. Meanwhile, Claire is in an Ishanten of herself, but still has not resolved that 7-so penchant, which is really going to be the bane of this hand. See the 6-0 come out from Amy here, maybe looking at a potential ability to cheat a Tenpai um, on like a potential 3-pin
Only be
cut.
able to call the 3 there for Tempai. I think it's almost a shift for possible Rion Peiko with a couple draws, and that's one of
Yes.
them.
But Kevin has drawn a third Dora and is now setting Ishanten. Needs to fill in the 9-mon 3-so
Each.
Shanpon as or the 5-8 Ryanmen. Player gets Tenpai, draws the Dora, just waiting.
Each.
7-so Kanchan. Oh, but the immediate chase. We've got 9-mon 3-so Shanpon versus 7-so Penchan. I said Kanchan there for a brief second. My apologies. 7-pin comes out. Definitely looks terrifying, but is not going to get wrong.
Sumo.
On 3
Oh,
isn't
but
that big, but in the meantime, we have a nice little one
Shunomi
Hansuba to
steals
shut
the
it.
sticks. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but Shunomi here is going to steal the sticks as they get put in for the on the 1-so Tanki Sumo. Gets rewarded with a pretty solid looking dealer hand. It's got 3 pairs in it, but Shito is not really where you want this to go. You would like to just fill in the 7-9 pin Kanchan, but instead fills it in with an Anko and is just going to try to find some shapes there as they cut their floating wind tiles. To our right, Claire has got a pair of Easts. It looks like she is potentially going to try to move this towards a Sozu Honitsu. We see the Chun called from Amy, who's already in a quick Ryanshan 10. Has to find a head to replace that Chun, but has some very solid shapes to find it. Claire does palm the 9, so is going to either commit to the Adozuke Tom Nomi or go for the Honitsu, probably whichever one lends itself to speed. Yeah, and that is Tenpai. We'll see if she decides to win or pull on this East when it comes out from the dealer here, Kevin. And then Tournament's hand is oh. Is it gonna be a palm? It's gonna be a palm. Does not want the 1,000 point win.
The greedy play. There are so many upgrades here. Literally any Tonki or even Dora Tonki is now perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, because Dora Tanki is the same amount of points as the Honitsu. Both are going to be 2 Han, and you can definitely catch some people with that. But Claire does get into the 5-8 so Nobetan. They're both 1 cut, and we see one of each of them in Kevin's hand in front of us. Kevin is in a very interesting Ishanten. Has a lot of potential upgrades here. Chooses to cut the 7-mon, and it's going to be Tenpai on 4-7 as 4-7-so as well as 7-8 pin and 2-5-mon. We haven't really talked about Toyman's hand, but they do have 2 Dora and are Ishanten themselves with a callable Tanyao shape. Oh, and a fantastic draw, side grade for Kevin in front of us. Drawing into the 6-pin to fill that 7-pin floater. So there
You have
are
some other options here. The question is, how do you get value? Is they're probably going for the Riichi Nomi here.
yeah.
Very
There's the
apt for the
potential.
NYC club.
Yeah, there's a potential for Pinfu here if you draw the 4-7 or the 5-8 pin, but you want to keep the head. Oh, there's the draw for Tenpai for Kevin Toyman. Waiting 2-pin 3-mon Shanpon for Riichi Tanyao Dora 2. Definitely a very aggressive Riichi. Probably wants to punish Claire, who seems like she's open for an aggressive Honitsu.
Of course, waiting on that 5-8 Ginbutsu. So if anyone else pushes it, they will deal into that 3,900 hand.
Yep, and here's going to be the chase for the Pinfus. Now it's 4-7-so versus 5-8-so versus 2-pin 3-mon. And the 2-pin gets Sumo. That's going to be at least a Mangan, which is Sumo Tanyao Dora 2. We could see as many as Ura 3 for Baimon, but no, it's just going to be a Mangan. And as we move into East 4 here, no one has been able to repeat a dealer hand just yet. Uh, Waiting on the hands to show up here on my end.
I think we might need a refresh.
Yeah, this does happen unfortunately with some of the with some of the clients these days, but you know what? No worries. Should not be missing too much. Yep. All right. So then we just need to switch perspectives. Claire immediately off the bat has a double tone Anko as well as Dora, and she is in fact Tempai on turn 3. So maybe we did miss something.
It's like Damaton waiting on the Forso Kanchan.
Yeah, definitely something that could catch someone off guard. Notably, Toyman is Amy is gonna be in danger. Has that floating Forso that doesn't have anything connected to it right now. Claire, given the opportunity to switch here, though, is she gonna switch to a Tunky or does she want to keep that Kanchan?
Herbie could throw the 5-so and stay Dama waiting on this nice little Suji that no one's going to be paying attention to yet.
Yeah, that's the thing is to for someone to look at this and think of Suji, yeah, and misses the Forso that immediately comes out from Amy, but she does
Each.
get the 6/9 pin Nobitan, especially because the 9 pin looks very good with her 3/8 pin visible to Claire. This is going to be a 12,000 point hand at least if she manages to pull it in. Meanwhile, Kevin on our right has a Ishanten himself needs to find, and Amy has hit Tempai as well.
Come.
Oh, this is gonna scare a lot of people. Oh, and this is now double tone Dora to Riichi with the 1-mon flip. No Rinshan, unfortunately, but we do see still two nines, 2/9 pin and a 6-pin to draw in the wall. That is Tempai for Kevin. Hard to imagine we see a 3-pin
Each.
push here, but we are going to see it. It's going to be a 3-mon Penchon versus Claire's 6/9 pin.
You have the
We
extra Dora. I like the Riichi there. It's just a Penchon, and you, of course, see one of them. But any win here is going to be pretty big. But in the meantime, we have a huge zoom by Claire. That's going to be Hanem on minimum.
Hanem on minimum. Do we see 2 Ura? No. Ura is still a myth, but Claire's not going to complain about plus 19k. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think that Penchon push is reasonable because otherwise, like, otherwise, you really don't have a good route to fold that hand. Claire's given you so few, like, so little information that your best odds are probably just fighting because winning might be your best way of defending. Moving on to this hand, Claire's got 3 pairs and just like some generally nice looking shapes if she can connect some tiles, finds the 3-mon to fill that shape. And now just looking for anything to connect to the 5-so or the 7-pin to fill out her last block. Really, it doesn't look like it'll be more than like Riichi Pinfu, maybe Peiko if the correct tiles fill in the Manzu. Uh, Kevin to our right has an East pair, a 9-pin Anko, and 2 other pairs in the middle Manzu. Could maybe turn this into a Toy, but no Dora, so would be capped at 3 Han for the moment without a San Anko. Is gonna palm that. May just takes the Ishanten here for just Tom Nomi. Amy across from us has palmed Shun. Has a Dora acceptance with that floating 6-so. Probably gonna hold on to that just to see if she can add any value here. Does complete a shape. It's still in a Ryanshan 10, but definitely could be worse. And to our left, we've got an 8-so Anko and some Tanyao shapes, but nothing too completed just yet. That's gonna be Ishan 10 for Amy. On Kanchan needs to fill in both a 4 and a 6. Another pair drawn for Kevin to our left. As Claire fills in a second Dora. Has her own Ishanten now. Could cut the 8-mon pair and try to fill in both of those Kanchan. No, going to. Oh,
I'd
no.
cut the 9-so here instead. You can connect to the 5, and of course you have the possibly Peika. Riichi Pinfu, Ipeiko Dora 2 would be wonderful. Get up not just a 45,000 point lead, you're thinking 63,000 or more.
Yes, yeah, of course. Definitely a little bit hard to keep track of these shapes. I'm still getting used to the pace of Tenho while commentating. But yeah, she can even find herself in a Dama Pinfu Dora 2 with Takame Peiko. Takame being a high out. Oh, but the Anko draw is going to give Kevin Tempai and can even pull the 6-mon to take this down to a Tanki if he wants to go for Toy. Oh, but Claire draws the Dora Anko is gonna be a Snap Riichi on the 7-mon, 8-mon Shabo. And it's gonna be we actually see all 4 of the 7-mon, and those 2 8-mon that are in the wall are gonna be hard for anyone that isn't Kevin to our left to use. Oh, there's gonna be Popsu on the Riichi Sushi Tango. No better safety besides maybe the 4-pin Nobitan, but a very unfortunate outcome. Again, no Ura. So it's only 12,000 points, but it do be that way sometimes. And Claire's
Well,
in
I'll
a
hand off
monster league.
the other commentary as we now have Anthony showing up. So
Yep.
nice
Anthony,
commentating. See you.
yep, nice. Thank you for stopping in, Korak. Now we have Anthony, also known as Mister, joining us. Feel free to just hop in whenever you are ready.
Hi, thanks for having me, Max, and thanks, Korak, for taking over for the first four hands. I'm glad to see this matchup with the whole New York team playing right now.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting. These are definitely definitely players that have probably played against each other quite a bit. I was recently in New York City and had the opportunity to meet three of these players. They're all awesome people. But Claire is trying to flex her chops and show why she is the leader of the club, and is doing so with with some explosive hands. We've seen a dealer Hanuman Sumo with a double tone Dora 2. And we've also seen a now an Ipatsu dealer Mangan dealing, catching Kevin off guard on the Riichi Suji. For this hand, her hand's not particularly fantastic. It's Ryan Shanten for what looks like at best like Riichi Pinfu. Trying to catch up with Kevin to our right, who is Ishanten for Hatsudora, trying to pick up 2,600 points with the Hombo in the middle. Just needs to find a head in the 4-5 mon or the 8-9 pin. Uh, Amy pairs the 4 pin. That is going to be Chitoi Ishanten. Cuts the 9, so maybe looking for either the North Tanki to catch someone, or just Tanyao Chitoi, Dora 2, with Hanema guaranteed on Riichi. And now with the 7-mon draw, could even cuts the North, could even convert this to a normal hand in some world.
Yeah, and we see some improvements on Kevin to our left as well for just the Pingfu
Yeah,
hand here.
yeah, he's got
Uh,
Sun Menshan, Ryanmen, Ishanten. No Dora acceptance, but definitely a lot of tiles that can get him to Tenpai. Claire fills in one of her Ryanmen is Ishanten for her own Pinfu Nomi. Gonna cut that 2-so, holding onto that 2-mon maybe for a potential Tanyao shift. In some worlds, if you draw like 2-mon and 4-so. Oh, then there's
oh,
the
there it
Tenpai.
is.
Riichi.
As noted in the chat, Claire for the second year in a row won the Riichi Nomi superlative for luckiest player, and is definitely showing that off here tonight. Amy has upgraded her hand as well to a very normal Tanpin Ishanten with Dora and potentially Peiko, but not willing to push it. Jams the 3-so, takes the Chito Ishanten as well because the 4-so that she would have had
Chi.
to cut into the Apatsu was very dangerous, as well as the 4-pin that would eventually have to come out. 2-mon Genbutsu, we do see the Chi, so it's the 2-5-pin Nobutan versus the 5-8-mon Ryanmen. Both for similarly valued hands. What's going to come out here from Amy? Is she going to find a way to keep her Ishanten here without dealing in? She is holding. No, she's not,
Wrong.
unfortunately.
She didn't have any 8 tiles, unfortunately, in her hand, so this
Yeah,
is her best way to keep Ishanten.
nothing looks good. And still no Ura. We've yet to see an Urador in this hand, despite many Riichis. But Claire's insistent on not letting her dealership go and picks up another 3,500 points.
What a
This
Ramsey.
hand, yeah, this hand might be a little bit rough for her to convert. Not a ton of great shapes and a lot of floating stuff to cut.
But here, there's actually maybe some potential with Chanta, or even if you pair up something like if you draw a Haku Hatsu or Chun here, then you can go for Chanta or Honitsu. But
Force
of course,
fulfilling,
decides
yeah,
not to do that
yeah, force
here.
fulfilling gonna make that a little bit hard. But yeah, the Yakuhai calls could definitely come in, and maybe in some worlds there's a Manzu Itsu to be had here. If you draw very specifically, which would add a Dora as well as with potential Pinfu. Meanwhile, on our rights, we've got a very nice Ryanshan 10 with Dora acceptance. Uh, it is 2 pairs, so it doesn't look, or sorry, 3 pairs with the 7-mon pair as well. It's not really functioning as a pair, but just like an additional acceptance on a Ryanman. Could maybe shift to a 6-7-8 or a 7-8-9 Sanchoku with the right draws, maybe even just Tanyao shift. Anything to just get the anything to get Claire off of her dealership at this point.
Yep. Have you been calling the Kevins to our left and our right different names? Or are they both Kevins?
I've just been using Kevin. I believe Kevin to our right is Kevin N, and Kevin to our left is Kevin S.
All
But
right.
I think Kevin in direction is probably going to be our best bet.
Sounds good. Well, Kevin to our left is Ishan 10 for uh for not a great weight. Where now has potential to draw 5 mon, get to
Yeah,
1/4 pin.
Kanchan Arianmen for the Ishan 10. Could also draw Forso actually for Tenpai
Yes,
as well.
with the
Um,
upgrade, the 8 so he just drew before gives
yep.
him a lot of upgrades
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, so Tenpai on 1 pin, 4 pin, Forso, 5 mon, with a lot of potential upgrades, but really just trying to get any of the points back after that unfortunate dealing. Amy's hand is dyed very red in the Manzu. Looking for potential Ipeiko down there. Still Ryanshan 10, it looks like. But cuts the 1 mon, looking for maybe a guaranteed Tanya, or just trying to make sure that she can use the 9 mon Dora. This 5 pin draw is going to be very useful for Kevin. It's going to cut the 4/6 Kanchan. Because there's just a little bit more acceptance in the
Yeet.
complex Sozu shape.
Of course,
Meanwhile,
Claire gets into Tenpai first.
look
Pink
away
Fu
from Claire for a
with
little
potential
bit,
Dora.
and all of a sudden her hand is filled in beautifully.
Yeah, we'll see how the other players
At this point, I'm
navigate
expecting to
through
see a
this.
9 mon on the next draw. Oh no.
Well, if Kevin gets into Tenpai, he is in danger.
Yep,
Throwing
that
the
6
6.
mon is unfortunately going to be there 1 tile too long, unless he can
Yeah.
find a connection to it. A 6 mon draw will give him Tenpai though that he can just
Yes,
safely chase with.
that would be the god draw.
There's one in the
Oh,
wall to save him. That's still not Tenpai's. We may see discretion
7
be the
so might
better
just
part
come
of
first.
valor. He does have 5 pin Genbutsu, 2 pin Suji, and just all right, just
Oh
decides
wow,
to
pushing double Musuji. Bold.
yeah, but manages to push the correct tile. Amy draws another Dora, maybe even looking to just convert this to a Chinitsu at this point because she doesn't feel comfortable pushing any of the Manzu into Claire.
Yeah. Well, she is a G2 Ishan 10.
Oh,
So.
and another Dora draw. Oh boy, this is gonna be a tough hand to navigate for Amy. Maybe you can like pretend you can tell yourself that this Forso Sotogawa is definitely a thing, even though it's not by that point. But cuts the 3 mon, just sees the proximity it has to the other tiles in her hand. Just says, maybe this is the safest I got. Oh, but Kevin to our left fills in the 5 mon. May save himself some dealing in by taking this Furry 10 Nishan 10.
Yes, definitely.
To our
Yeah,
right, yeah, sorry, my bad. Kevin to our right
oh,
is actually now Tenpai. Yeah, I was gonna mention that they were Nishan 10
Yeet.
and could
well,
eat up one of Claire's tiles. This is
there
this
it
is the
is.
second time we've seen Claire or Kevin chase Claire. The first time Claire sumoed the next draw. There is only one 6 mon left in the wall. 3 mon is drawn. This is brutal. He just tries the 8-so. Is it's Genbutsu to Claire. That 8-so will get Kevin to safety for the rest of the hand.
Sumo.
But of course, we're gonna see one tile in the wall means that it's getting drawn by someone.
Yep, and that was the last tile that was in the wall for Miss Claire here.
Yes, another massive sumo hits the Ura for 2600 plus 3 home, but all. We are into East 4-4, and this is about the time where the players are like, "Get me out! I want to go home."
Yes, and Claire starts out with two Dora in her hand. Of course, needs to fill in these penchons, but could call for Sanchoku if she wants to call her hand.
The potential for the
Uh,
789 Sanchoku, yeah. Gets rid of the Chun, so there goes that calling out. But I mean, with Dora too, you really just look for anything. And yes, that is a good point. They are planning on playing all 4 games tonight. Whether or not anyone wants to play all 4 games after this performance, it remains to be seen. To our right,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
go ahead.
Sorry, my bad. I'm still getting used to this whole dynamic. But Kevin to our right's got a decent hand to make this stop. If he can just find that last Easta Palm, could be a quick callable hand. Especially if Claire ever overflows an 8 mon. But needs to find that last East first. And Amy as well has the potential to shut this down here with that Hatu pair that looks like it might come out from Kevin sooner rather than later. Not a ton of value in either hand, but something. And meanwhile, oh well, I'm not paying attention. Kevin to our left is Ishanten. Can fill in the 7 mon for Riichi Pinfu, or just or even fill in like a 2 mon and try to breed for an Itsu, or just try to lock in the Pinfu if they draw the 2 mon. It'll be interesting to see if they take the namesake Riichi Nomi if they draw 6/9 mon.
That is one way to try to end Claire's dealership. Interestingly, Kevin to our right, he did pass up with the first East pawn, I guess deciding that his hand was a little too slow and not enough value without the drawing more tiles.
Yep.
But now we see Amy calling
Amy, yep,
Hatsu here
palms
with
her way
really
to
good shapes.
Johnson.
This
Yeah,
might be the time where
this might
Claire
be
finally
it.
has to give up her reign as
Yeah,
DM.
and takes the chooses the Rionman with Dora acceptance and identifies that maybe the 2/5 so, which has been cut a few times by the other players, may be a little bit more available to her than the 5/8 mon, which seemed to be being hoarded in people's hands. Of course, when you're cutting Rionmen like this, you're always prone to backfires. It looks like Kevin is sitting happy with their current Ishanten, just gonna try to fill in that penchant. Doesn't really have an interest in keeping the 5 pin to maybe widen their acceptance by cutting the 1 mon. Especially because that 5 pin looks like it might deal in sooner
Yeet.
rather than later. Oh, there's Tenpai filling in a Kanchan. Gonna see the 9 mon cut to wait on the 2 cut 6 mon. Doesn't feel good about the 5 mon cut. Maybe thinking that it might deal into Amy.
Yeah, very interesting. But now we see Claire hit cheese boy
Yeet.
Tenpai here,
Player's cheap boy
chasing.
Tenpai and is gonna jam it.
Oh
That
my
9 mon
god.
looks really good.
Oh
Oh,
my god. Suji
oh, this
trap
might
and
okay.
Genbutsu to the other deal reach.
This 9 mon might come out from Kevin and to our left, and I really wouldn't be able to fault him for it. But Tenpai for Amy if she can manage to cut but she does not have it in her to cut the 6-0. You're gonna try to Mawashi the North. Oh, 6 mon. Okay. 6 mon is Genbutsu to Claire. 9 mon is Terminal Suji and Genbutsu to the first Riichi. Lots of things to choose here. That East is only 1 cut. It does not look great. Oh, what are we gonna see here? All right,
Sumo.
West
Oh.
and just Sumo, of course. Riichi, Sumo, Cheap Toy, Dora 2, another dealer, Hanemon. No Ura, so it's not a Baimon. But we are fast approaching at 100,000 game, which I can tell you from last week is not something that's fun to be on the receiving end of.
Yes. Oh man, I can't believe her reign is still going on with such good hands from the other East
Four,
bench.
5, and just no one's able to make it. All right, Amy's done with this. Already Ishanten is Autozuke on the Haku, but Kevin to our right is gonna have a hard time making use of it. Might even come out just now. Could cut the 1 mon, could cut the south. I know one person who'd be upset about that south cut, but they are not here.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin to our right. Probably
Boom.
Dahatsu's coming out right now.
There it is. Amy's
So,
Tenpai
or
for
7 so.
Haku, 2,500 points. Oh, and there it is. All right. A little bit of justice for the world as Claire has to pay out the Homba that she created. But now we are finally into South Round. I was gonna say, like, up till East 4, this game was moving at a pretty good pace. No one had repeated yet. But Claire was here to make sure that that was not gonna stay the case. And has a pair of South in her hands, as well as a 6-mon Unko.
Boom.
It's gonna be a quick pawn, and she's just gonna try to run away with this game and not let anyone else get above 30K. That is something that's different this season. That is different from the beta season is that it's actually it's in your best interest as first place to keep everyone under 30K if you have the opportunity to. It nets you an extra 5 UMA, I believe, correct? As you get 20 and second place gets 0.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Whereas last season it was you would still get 15, but the UMA was a little bit muted for the second, third, and fourth players due to all 3 players failing to float. Meanwhile, all right, Claire is still Ryanshan 10, needs to find a head in the hand, but has 3 Ryan men and an Anko, so if she does fill the Ryan men, she can always just cut from the 6-mon. Kevin to our across has palmed the Chun and is now filled in the Tenpai
Chi.
or filled in the Ishanten, which Claire will Shi to her own Ishanten. Both 1,000 point hands, not a whole lot going on there in terms of value, but if you're
Yeah, it
Kevin,
looks like everyone is each on 10 right now.
yeah, if you're Kevin across from us, you don't really like seeing that little negative sign. If you can get above that even by a little bit, it's a mental win. And if you're Claire, you just wanna take your ball and go home and stop there from being any variance that that will mess with your humongous win. To our right is probably the to our right is probably the or sorry, in front of us is probably the most potential value.
Yeah,
It
and
would've
Kevin actually had an interesting choice before, like the current dealer. He decided to keep the form on Dora when he drew it, and decided
yeah,
to cut the
took a step
Forso.
back from Tenpai to do that.
So
Oh,
yeah,
Claire gets the Sun Mensch on Tenpai, but does have to deal in to keep it. Uh, Unfortunately, Kevin would have actually gotten Tenpai there, but that form on Dora is a very hard tile to cut into two players that are opening that aggressively. Alrighty. It looks like our client might have lagged out again. Yeah, just gonna refresh here. It is just an unfortunate reality of spectating Tenho sometimes, but not a problem. Last time this happened, Claire went on a dealer rampage, so maybe the disconnect will give Amy the same power, as she does have a pretty reasonable Tanyao Pinfu looking hand here. Has a couple of Rihanna that need to fill, but ooh, a fantastic draw here for her. Um, can make this Tanyao Pinfu, or can just make it normal Pinfu if you draw like a 4-7 pin. We do see two Yakuhai calls as Kevin to our right is once again Tenpai for a it's Haku with a potential for Sanshoku that passes it. Thinks the 2,000 points here is enough of an incentive to pass the first win there on the one pin. Or sorry, the one so. But Kevin to our left is quickly approaching with two calls and still two tiles away. Doesn't have a head or a finish shape, but two calls on the board can threaten some people into taking some choices that they usually wouldn't. Claire just jams the Dora, no fear. And unfortunately, Amy's hand is really just kind of stagnated, despite how good it looked initially. Just hasn't drawn anything in the Manzu or the Sozu blocks. Claire has an interesting choice to make here. Has the 7-pin pair, but has to decide which shape she wants to cut. If she cuts the Forso, which she does not, it would deal right into 2,000 points. Every little bit matters. That is going to be Ishanten draw for Amy. I'm going to be looking to fill in that 6-0. Unfortunately for her, there's only one in the wall due to Claire hoarding two of them and Kevin just drawing it, but finds the Forso upgrade. Now things are looking a little bit dire for Kevin's ability to get this 2,000 points because no one's going to be cutting this Forso except for Kevin to our left. Oh, there's
and
Amy's
there's
Tenpai.
Riichi.
I fully expect a sumo after this. Nope. Oh, the 4-mon draw. Just jams it. No fear. Dora Suji doesn't matter. I'm Tenpai. 9-so
Yeah.
looks pretty good. Just comes right out. Looks like we're going to see Kevin push almost anything here to try to secure this at least 2,000 points now with the potential for 3,000 points if he gets his 4-so.
Yep, and we see Claire just completely bailing right now, just
Yep,
throwing it.
which makes sense given her current point situation. Oh, that's an interesting decision point for Kevin here. Has to choose what to cut. Is gonna push the 3-so, but if he does get Tenpai, that 5-mon might do him in. Oh, and Kevin does not take the 1-mon Dora here. Could have swapped to the Dora and played the guaranteed safe 4-mon and just locked in. Like you lose Sanchoku, but the Dora's worth that much anyway.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the form on discard there.
Safer and the same value. Oh, dodges with the 8-mon, so we're not gonna see the 5-mon come out. But the 1-so, which has been suspiciously absent since it was cut on turn 4, has finally made its way back into Kevin's hand. We'll see if Kevin is willing to take the win this time if it comes out. Nope, there's a draw of it, and the 8-so are Genbutsu. So the waiting around does let Amy sumo this hand. Is she gonna hit Ura? Yep, there's the dealer Mangan, and all of a sudden Amy is in striking distance of getting herself back over 30k. Unfortunate choice for Kevin. It's I don't think you can really expect the 1-so to not come back for that long, but it's just an unfortunate result to a greedy choice.
Yeah, it always seems to bite me in the butt too whenever I decide to deny Tenpai.
Oh yeah, if I decline Tenpai, like or if I decline a win, it's not coming back. I had it work once recently where I needed exactly a direct hit to Yak 10 someone, but like it's just so inconsistent that sometimes it's worth saving yourself the mental damage.
Yeah, that's true. And now here we have Amy with looks like Tanya, Dora 2, You definitely can call this
Yeah,
as
this
soon as
is
fast as possible.
easy. Just call everything here. Try to simplify your shapes down into better ones that are a little bit easier to fill. Kevin's got a setup for a 2-3-4 Sanchoku here that looks really good. And even adds themselves a potential Tanyao out if where they were to draw like 5 mon and want to be greedy again, which honestly I would at this point. Or even like an 8 mon, you can cut 9 so and lock in your Tanyao.
Yep.
Claire's hand is Tempai, but it's a pretty awful weight.
Yeah, I
Uh,
would probably just throw this Forso away. Yep.
yeah, because the potential for the Sozu Itsu is so good here, or Sozu Pinzu suits. How do they work? Uh, but
Yeah,
this any sort of draw here around any sort of Rionman here is gonna be an immediate Riichi.
exactly. We also have Kevin Dora left, also Yushan 10.
Yep, Ishanten has a pawnable Hatsu and a Dora. You could even take the Atazuke. I wouldn't hate it here. Uh, if player does cut a 1-4 mon, which he is liable to do given the current state of her hand. All right, Amy gonna go. Does not chooses to take the potential Pinfu. Doesn't want to grieve for the potential door opponent guaranteed Tanya, which honestly the higher acceptance here probably makes it worth it. We do see the Riichi come out from Kevin to our right, did not hit the Sanchoku out unfortunately, and chose not to greed on the 5 mon draw. Oh, but there's gonna be a chase.
This is Tenpai.
How does Amy want to do this? Does she want to wait on the 3-pin Genbutsu? Yes, she
Yeah,
does.
this is
Oh, unfortunate. Would have hit the 5 pin on the Ipatsu turn.
yeah, that's
This is
unfortunate. The
tragic.
6 pin was safer, so it
Yeah.
makes sense to throw the 6 pin there.
Might be tempted to cut the 2 because the 6 pin while being Nakasuji is so close to the dealer and I feel like I like 6 pin Dama here actually if you're gonna do that because you've got the value. You've got 7,700 points as dealer, and the 3 pin's way more likely to come out there as opposed to Riichi Suji, which these players, especially playing so long in New York City, should generally know better than to trust Riichi Suji in most cases, unless you just have nothing. Yeah, but we did see the sumo come in for the Pinfu. Unfortunately, was not able to get the value out of the hand there that they might have wanted. But Riichi Sumo Pinfu no or 132 or 700, 1300 with one Homba, like can't be too mad about it. Gets yourself back to positive, and if you can do something with your dealer turn, you can even fight for third place in this game. Or if you can get a direct hit dealer Mangan on Amy, you'll be all of a sudden like in a fight for second.
Yeah. And
Fortunately,
this is
this hand,
first time this Honchon. People are looking quite far away, although Kevin across from us is finally
yeah.
drawing. He's probably definitely the closest out of everyone, just to
Yeah,
find pairs.
has filled
But
shapes and drawn very nicely in Sozu. Just trying to
connect
get
to
rid
the
of these.
3 pin 5 mon.
Yeah, getting rid of the useless Yaochu High. Maybe even looking for a Sozu Itsu. Fills in a potential here for a. Actually, widens their acceptance by quite a bit with that 8-pin draw. Because if they can if they can turn that into a Rion, then yeah, like the 3-so draw then is very useful now because of that 8-pin draw.
Exactly.
Claire
And
has Menholm. Uh, farther
here it
away
is.
than it looks but it is her fourth pair, which might be the closest bet she's got here.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if she's gonna call if any of the decides
Oh,
not to call.
yep. Haku came out and
Against
immediately gets rewarded, draws Chitoi Ishanten for Menholm Chitoi. Have to imagine she might jam this Riichi if she gets Tempai on one of the wins. Hellweight East sounds very funny.
It will
Oh,
come out.
but Kevin across from us draws a pair of the Dora, has their own Ishanten. Yep. Uh, Unfortunately, this hand is just not getting anywhere fast for Kevin in front of us. It's not really drawing, just building vertically in a hand that really just wasn't made to do it.
Yeah, this is his last dealership for this Honchon, and he definitely wants to try to climb out of. This is like his last chance to climb out of
Yeah,
fourth, basically.
yeah. After this, it gets very, very difficult. Having to build a Hanuman sumo on demand and in Akanashi is not the easiest thing. That is an upgrade for their Ishanten, I believe. Yes, and now can take Tanyao here for Kevin across from us, but also could just the no does not have the Dora pawn option. It's a little bit tough to read upside down. Amy draws Tenpai for Tanya Dora. There's that last East. Claire's backfired twice now on the 6-mon. Would have been Tenpai. It chose to be maybe a little bit too fancy with that trying to wait on the Hellweight East or the one cut south. One cut south looks good, but it's double non is always going to be a little bit tough of an ask, even when it's one cut.
And it decides to keep the 2-pin, I guess.
Yeah, the East
for
was
the
dead, so I mean, like,
yeah.
like even just one extra here
Yeet.
is something. What tempo are we gonna
Yeah.
be taking here? This is gonna be Riichi Tanya Dora Dora. Could
Could also
take.
just could take the Ipeko wave, but probably better
Oh
not
no,
to.
takes the takes the Shanpon for the 8-so 3-pin. Maybe wanting to dream of the world where they can sumo this Dora. Fortunately, both of them are held in hands. I do not expect them to come out. 8-so is still one available in the wall, and we've seen one tile sumos even this game. That 5-pin does not seem like a tile that Amy's going to be willing to push, and yeah, she does fold on it due to its Dora proximity as well as just the overall lack of value in her hand. Claire's
Yeah.
Tenpai. Claire does not have it in her to push that 4-pin, which fair, but
Maybe now she will with the 1-pin discard, and now it's only now it's actually Nakasuji.
yeah, not only is it Nakasuji because of the 7-pin chi, but it also is significantly harder to be used in a Dora shape. The one so
Oh,
just
wow.
generally looks better though, especially
Chi.
Genbutsu. Oh, Tenpai again for Amy. Mawashi her way back to another Tanya Dora Tenpai. And Kevin has to sit and watch as one of his 3-pin gets used. Oh, what will Claire do here? 4-pin Nakasuji. How greedy do you want to be for this Tenpai? You only see one of the Dora. Yep, and she does fold. Oh, Amy has what looks like a hard choice, but and does bail. Chooses not to cut either the 4 or the 5-pin for Tenpai. But sees that she could have, unfortunately. Alrighty, it's getting into South 4 here. Might need another refresh. Fortunate, but it's gonna be Claire's last dealership. She's gonna try to greed for that 100K. It's honestly like 100K games are kind of a status symbol.
Yeah, you could definitely flex it. Right, this is definitely the hand. I mean, this is really close to
Yeah, it's a
Tenpai
hand.
already
It's
with
a
good
hand that can
shapes.
get her there. We do have a
Yeah.
West call from Kevin to our left. Going for the Adozuke or maybe even the Sozu. I'm so bad at suits. The Pinzu Honitsu potentially, but also could just take the Chun Nomi. Nope, gonna be the Honitsu, and definitely gonna try to get as much value as possible out of this. Claire with fantastic draw after fantastic draw. Now has
Ishanta now.
Yep, very wide Ishantens. I think probably your best option here is going to be 2-pin. You want to keep the potential wide Sozu shape available as well as your Dora acceptance in the 4-mon. To our right, we've got a confirmed Ipeko as well as some generally strong shapes. Has a 3-3-pin pair, 7-8 so Ryanman. Really just needs to find one more connecting tile to looking around that 5-mon. That 9-pin is going to be a really weird draw. In some worlds, this could even become a Chinitsu. But might be looking suspiciously at that Guessman pawn and thinking maybe Pinzu aren't that available to me. Chooses not to take the Shanten there.
Boom.
Claire had an option to keep the 7-mon for Sanshoku potential. Decides not to though.
I think she thinks the Dora here is going to be a little bit more consistent than the Sanshoku, even if it is worth a little bit less. While also wanting to just maintain that wide Sozu shape. Maybe just doesn't really want to risk anything. Does get rewarded for it. I imagine we'll see this via Riichi. This is really like she might be a little bit worried about what's going on to her left. Okay, yeah, she is gonna down on this. Maybe expecting the door to come out from the player that's full forcing the Honitsu. That would be Kevin. Oh, and there it is.
Boom.
Oh,
I would like to see the reach there.
yeah.
But
I mean, at a certain point,
I think it was gonna come out regardless.
yeah.
So
I doubt it comes out on the Apatsu turn. He had some Yaochu high that he could have still Mawashi'd around with. Yeah, unfortunate again for Kevin, just drawing the Dora as soon as Claire gets Tenpai. But yeah, that is something you do
Home.
need to worry about when someone's taking over the game like this. Dama becomes a significantly more viable option. Just because like it's a way to just keep tempi without risking anything. Like why should I risk like giving you my points back after I've sumoed so hard to get them? Claire is opening immediately, looking for the Adozuke on the Hatsu, which may come out, though I don't. It'll take a while. It looks like to come out from Kevin, who does have Dora pair and a South Palm. So might be looking to just get themselves back over
Gee.
positive again. Yep, there that is. Nope, just gonna go for the Honitsu, sending the greed, trying to get even a Hanemon, which could actually get them to second place on a direct hit on Kevin to our right, who has a 7-mon Khan, to Claire's chagrin with that 899-mon shape, but has not decided to make use of it yet due to the awkward shapes in their hand and the unlikeliness of their current hand to win. Amy's drawing quite a bit in upper Sozu. Could shift this to a Tanya out here. Nope, just decides to take the shapes there and make more for a Pinfu with the Dora. Yep, Claire really just advertising the fact that she has Adozuke or has the Yakuhai.
So we'll see how far she wants to push this. If someone reaches here, you can still throw the two Hatsus,
Yeah,
even though they're
plus
not that safe.
and the 9-mon is one chance, so it doesn't look awful. If she does end up in a situation where she doesn't have anything safe. Fantastic draw for Amy. That's gonna be Tempire
Riichi.
for Riichi Pinfudora. That's 6. Oh, but that's a great draw into Ishanten for Kevin. Or sorry, a stronger Ishanten. It was already Ishanten. We'll have to see here. I imagine if Kevin gets Tempai, we're gonna see that Hatsu come out. And we'll get to see Claire make a choice. Because honestly, Amy is the 9-mon comes out. I was gonna say the 9-mon actually looks kind of risky with the 5-mon cut right before the Riichi.
Yeah, but now we're likely to see the two 9-mons come out
Yeah.
for.
4-mon cut from Kevin on our right, still trying to make something of his hand. Felt okay about the 4-mon due to the 3-mon, 5-mon Tadashi prior to it, but that clears the 4-mon's path for Claire, which was the hardest tile in her hand to cut.
Kang.
Oh, we had Kevin to our left decline Tempai. They Sumogiri the 1-pin is not willing to cut either the live Hatsu or the Dora for Tempai, which on the one hand fair, but on the other hand, kind of like it. I guess it's a long lead. You know, any one game
Yeah,
is recoverable.
I mean 6-pin is throwable. Like if you do hit either the Hatsu or the 2-pin, but I would have liked to just get that Tempai.
Yeah, the con did finally come out, but this Hatsu is just not able to be cut right now. Probably thinking that it deals into Claire. Honestly, wouldn't I mean, get the sense that Claire is folding now due to the back-to-back pair cuts and just the constant Genbutsu Tadashis. That's not quite going to be Tempai here for Kevin, but he is in a callable Ishanten with 5 tiles left and can safely get Tempai if he can play the 3. So Genbutsu draws Tempai, gonna snag himself a couple of points here if Amy's not able to win the hand while eating up 5 of Amy's live weights.
Last tile.
Last tile, 6-pin. Claire gives up her dealership, and that will be the end of the game. Definitely an explosive one to start us off. Amy is able to snag a 23,000 point second place out of that. Uh, all those Riichi 6 do disappear. One stick went to Claire, so that'll actually be an 84,100 first. But I mean, I'm not sure she's sweating the difference between plus 74 and plus 75.
Yeah, that's a very strong start for Claire.
Yeah, definitely a massive start. And it looks like they are going right back into it. So we're gonna have 5 minutes here to just kind of take stock of that game. We could just hop into the replay and just show Anthony, who got here a little bit late, just how this game started. Definitely missed a little bit of what led us to getting there.
Yeah,
Though I don't actually. Let's see. No, because we're in the spectator lobby. Yeah, so I don't think we'd be able to do that conveniently because we'd have to probably pull it up from Discord. Yeah, so no worries on that then. We can just go back to the watch lobby. No, I believe you. I think believe we're gonna need to back out of the 10 hole lobby currently and just go back to the guest watch screen. Because currently you're just logged in. Currently we're just logged in for the general for the general 10 hole lobby as opposed to logged into our specific tournament lobby. Yep. All right, and there we go. Uh, one other game being played currently, but we are all New York tonight. Oh, and it looks. Oh, yes, the other A2 game that is going on has started as well. But again, we are we are here to watch New York fight it out, and that is what.
Cool. Maybe we could take a look at the standings then. If let's see what the other A2
Yep, we can see.
where they lie within the A2 group.
Yep, we can check in and see how that game affected the standings. Looks like on the stream we've got it pulled up. Claire has catapulted herself to first overall in A2 in one game. The previous first place being held by Minko with 4 consecutive rentais of 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Um, Everyone else, unfortunately, Kevin being on the receiving end of that, does find himself at the bottom of A2 at the moment, but only by less than a point. And obviously, there's plenty of mahjong here to be played. If Claire can get plus 74, Kevin can too, as can anyone else at this table. Um, but yeah, it looks like this A2 bracket has been one of the more active ones. Lots of groups are being finalized. I believe the group that is 2 out of 4, Nathaniel, Christian, Andre, and Aaron are finishing tonight, as is as is Claire's group. They're planning to play all 4 of their games, so they should A2 should be finalized after week 1 by the end of tonight.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see how it pans out at the end, and you can follow along on the American Riichi site, americanriichi.org.
Yep. We will after the conclusion of this week, there will be a brief write up to catch all of the notable happenings of the A2 bracket, written by someone in the pool or Edwin, whichever ends up taking that role. Lots of exciting stuff coming around. Um, looks like if you know, it's amusing actually looking at the beta league stats that we have pulled up. The notable thing here that I see is that of the 4 players at this table, Claire's hand win rate was actually the lowest, which was certainly not what we saw in that game.
Yeah, and this is like after this hand too, this Hantra too. So I'm sure the percentage was even a little bit lower before that. And well, glad to see that she's kicking it right now.
Yeah, she was one of those that was in that dreaded D pool and had a bit of a rough start, but was able to find her footing towards the end and clawed her way back to the A2 B1 playoff and landed herself this A2 spot, which she is taking full advantage of. Looks like contrarily, Kevin S won a lot of hands and didn't really deal in that often in the beta league, but just the value of the hands that they won was lower than the average by a decent amount. Looks like they were more of an open player, or even just like taking cheaper Riichis with stronger weights.
All right, so this game should be coming up soon.
Yep, and should
Um,
be starting here in the next 30 seconds. Looks like we're gonna have Amy as our first dealer. That will be something to look out for as she tries to build on that negative second place is still a second place, especially at the end of the league when you just see the numbers.
yeah, exactly. And Kevin, to our left, is the last dealer, and that was I guess you can say you can come back a lot from South 4. That's when you know what the standings are in this particular Hanjon, and you can just rally it up all at
And
the very end.
yeah, and no Agariame rule sets. I really find the last dealership to be more of a burden than a benefit. 'Cause I'd really just want to take my first and go home. Because like it's not like being the last dealer like changes if you're losing, you know. But like it really can be a negative when you're winning, which Kevin would very much like to do after that unfortunate result of last game. getting into these opening hands, nothing looks particularly good. I'd say Claire probably has the best hand, but even then, it's a little ways away.
Yeah, I think we'll just have to see where things progress. We only have one Dora and Kevin to our right hand, being the north, but hard to incorporate the north
Yeah.
Dora here unless you draw a pair of them.
Yeah,
And
this would
just
be a
decide to play it forward.
hand. This is a lot of times like a hand that I would potentially try to play for like an aggressive Tanya, or just like try to try to maybe just like build myself some momentum, or just like maybe maybe throw off the table a little bit, like specifically because with the door is so useless for most players. Like if you see the door opponent, obviously you hold off a little bit, but with the North coming out there and with no call on it now that it's available or out twice, like you really can't. There's really not much value to go around with these hands unless you can find yourself with like a Tonpin Sanshoku or some Uradora. So this
Yeah.
is definitely a hand that you can play aggressively.
Yeah, and as we were talking, Kevin to our right actually is Ishanten now, and ideally would like to draw that 5-mon, get that
Yep.
ping poo.
Yep, get the Pinfu with the Arianman. Oh, that's actually a fantastic upgrade for them. Now is a Kutsuki Shanten with the 5 and the 6 mon. Just being generally good floating tiles. Um, Claire also has found her way to a very nice Ryan Shanten, with the potential for the 678 Sanshoku, which we mentioned is one of the better ways to build yourself some value in Akanashi. Draws the out that doesn't give her the Sanshoku because she's going to have to use that 8 mon as her pair, but Tanyao Pinfu with the Riichi is still a reasonable amount of points. You're going to hit Uradora about 33% of the time with with shapes like this with so little overlap. And that Uradora is going to bump this to a Mangan if she does hit it, if she's able to get Tenpai and win.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Amy over here is Yanshanten now
Oh, that's
has
the Nishanten.
now hits the Ishanten.
Would just be Riichi Nomi, but is 50 Fu. There's oh, chooses the guaranteed pinfu of the 2/5, so as opposed to the 1/4 mon, which extra gets immediately rewarded with the Apoptimo. That's another way to get some value when there's no Dora available to you. Just sumo the tile you want on the first turn. And there
There's
is
the
the
Ura.
Uradora. So Riichi Pinfu turns into a Mongon with the help of some wall favors. Definitely the way you want to see this game start if you are Kevin. Get back some of those points, and he's got 4 Tanyao pairs to maybe keep the aggression on with some aggressive calling or just some Chitoy action.
Yeah, it looks like he was leaning towards Chutoy as he discarded the 5 so as the first discard here.
Yep, it draws the Onko, so maybe a normal hand now, but we are gonna see a monster hand that's coming in from Amy as she's already pulled Mahatsu and has an Onko 3-pin Dora. And
Oh yeah,
fills
that's
the Penchant. What a beautiful Ryan Shanten this is gonna be. Oh, but another Onko fill in from Kevin. We were talking in the chat today about how many Suonkos we've seen miss. We may be on track for another one as we don't see any of the 4-pin and only one of the 7 so in
oh
other players' hands. But we do have a Tenpai. Kevin is Tenpai. At the moment, it would be just Riichi Dora, but wants to hold out for maybe a potential Itsu in the Sozu if they draw, or even just Pinfu if they draw 5 so, 9 so. Holding this Haku, maybe debating do they want to Riichi this, and does go ahead and do so. We're gonna see Amy push everything. She's got Dora Yakuhai.
yeah. Well, the 5-mon
Oh,
should come up first, right? Yeah.
yep. That's the Shanten. And honestly, that one so might be there to stay because if she yep.
Oh.
Oh, I mean the one so Tonki is gonna look better than the 3 so Tonki, but the one so
Okay.
is safer. Yep, that's unfortunate. Will we see any Uradora? No Uradora. Okay, just 2,600 points, but tragic for Amy who missed out on an 8,000 point Tenpai. But moving right along, 2 quick hands to start, and we are already in East 3. Let's see if Claire can repeat her East Dealer Rampage from last game.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, she starts out with a pair of June that she can call if she wants to open up her hands, but it also has some good shapes already. Meanwhile, A player to our right, Kevin, has some connected shapes, but still has a lot of floating tiles that they need to fulfill in order to actually get something going.
Yeah,
It's
I agree. I agree. But Claire has found herself with the double tone potential as well as the chin tone potential. I have to imagine she'll
oh,
take this chi, just try to move towards one, if not both of those.
she is
Thinking
she has a lot
about
of blocks
Chi.
too,
Yeah,
so she
thinking
doesn't
about it for
need these
quite a
floating
while.
tiles.
Yep. So you're gonna take that and just try and take herself into an Ishanten. She would normally call Autozuke, but she's got both of them and immediately finds one. So it's now Tenpai for at least 2 Han as dealer. But could even add the Chun for a third Han. Unfortunately, unless she's okay, she's not that greedy. She's not that greedy.
She
Chi.
did already call them one of the 3 so's, so it
Yeah,
would be very hard.
yeah,
for-
but you
yeah,
kind of want to. Like you see a draw like that, you kind of want to shift it to the Honitsu. But no, no. All right, but yeah,
uh,
unfortunately, for Claire, this is only going to be 30 fu unless she can sumo the Chun herself, which would bump it up to 2,600 points all. But we do have a very pretty looking Honitsu to our right. Looks like it is now.
Tenpai.
That's
Yes.
Tenpai. Yep, that is Tenpai waiting on the Torso and the Hatsu. Oh, but
Oh,
either
doesn't
doesn't see
take
it or
it.
doesn't want it. Oh.
Oh, I would have liked it for
Dum.
sure.
Oh wait, is
This
it
is
still
also
Tenpai? Yeah,
Tenpai,
it's
but
Tenpai.
you
Yeah,
lose your Hatsu chance.
yeah, the Bakahon. But 2K is 2K. Keeping himself above float and putting Amy just a little bit further down, unfortunately, for her. Oh, we see 5 pairs on turn 1 for the dealer, as well as a locked in Ipeco if this wants to be a normal hand. This could be Kevin's shot at uh, putting some pressure on the table. Unfortunately, none of the tiles left in the hand are great Chitoi tiles. Ooh, you could even see a Rianpeko shift here in some worlds. Or imagine Rianpeko Junjan. Oof.
That would be mm,
Yeah.
that's the
Have
dream.
to. The interesting thing here is like, what do you do if you draw like 9 pin right now or 6 pin? Like, I feel like I want to greed that a little bit.
Yeah, well, with the 9 pin, I think you can just discard the 5 pin and be a little bit happy. I mean, you could always
Yeah.
it can shift to
I
Junchan,
mean,
but
yeah,
I don't know about the 6 pin.
you do have the Ipeco potential, like the Ipeco already, and the early 5 on
Oh,
chooses not to take the Chitoi Shanten. Maybe thinking that the 7 mon is going to be a good weight later and can just get the Riichi Ipeco. Um, Elsewhere, we have actually a pretty reasonable Ishanten for Amy. Has potential to shift with some draws into a Sanshoku, but does not. But no Tenpai could give her a Sanshoku. Also has the Chun pair, so it would be a fake Pinfu. Hatsu Anko across from us with a floating Dora 1 mon trying to find some value, but does not seem particularly likely to find it. Hatsu Anko, yeah, just like none of the shapes really all there yet, but could now shift this to a Chanta. Cuts the 1-2 pin, also maybe hedging towards a Honitsu. Oh, that's going to be a great draw for Kevin. Locks in Pinfu now with the current shapes of the hand. Speaking of Pinfu, Claire's Shanten for 1. Just needs to fill in a Ryankan. If she can draw a 5 pin or 7 pin, she will have her own Pinfu with a high out Ipeco.
exactly. Guess decisions will be made if she draws the 2 mon of
Yep.
what she wants to do there.
Oh, could also shift here for the potential Shanton. Oh, it does not want to. Values the Pinfu.
Chi.
Also, to anyone joining us from Whale Stream, a little bit late on this, but this is the American Riichi Mahjong
Each.
League as Claire draws her Tenpai after the Chi. Always a little bit sad to see when you're the one that Chi'd them into their Tenpai. It's like, man. But yeah, this is the American Riichi Mahjong League. This is Pool A2. As you can see, the standings up on the
Riichi.
right of the broadcast.
We have
That's
Tenpai for Kevin here.
another
Dealer 4-7, so wait. It's on
two-sided weight.
Genbutsu for Claire.
Yeah, but this is one of those cases where even though you're waiting on Genbutsu to the Riichi, the value that Riichi adds to this hand is so much. This Pinfu
Right.
Keiko is just not really enough here. You want at least 5,800, and the Ura chance it seems very strong. Um, One Mondora is suspiciously absent. That's definitely not something that you want to see when you don't have any of them, but neither player has any of them, so maybe they're both sweating bullets. And both of them are actually waiting Genbutsu, so if someone tries to play a folding tile to just one, they could end up in trouble. And there is going to be the dealing player not able to channel the fighting luck she had last game. And there is the Uradora, the revenge Mangan from last game. Sends Kevin into a pretty comfortable first place. But yeah, to finish what I was on, we are the American Riichi Mahjong League. This is bracket A2. All four of our players tonight are from New York City, hence why we are watching it and our general enjoyment. All four of these players have played with each other quite a fair bit, and are just generally known among the Riichi Nomi people. It's always a fun time to get to play with your friends, but it's even more fun to beat your friends. Because you don't get to play that many serious games with them.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we see Claire shifting towards Sozu Honitsu.
Yeah, immediately wants her points back, and actually this one has potential to get up to Hanuman value with the Dora suit and the potential 3 Yakuhai, because north is her seat wind. Could end up on like a west Hanki, or just depending on how she draws, or potential Shanpong.
Meanwhile, everyone else's hands are slowly progressing. I mean, Kevin across from us is Ishanten, but doesn't have much value right now.
Kevin in
Or
front
sorry,
of us.
is Tenpai.
Yeah,
But it's waiting to get better shape here.
Kevin in front of us draws into their own Ishanten, and is willing to move it. It's now Chito Ishanten again, but this time decides to keep it and has the potential for other such things. Oh, Claire, is she willing to jam the 8-so? Because that West would have been absolutely disgusting to wait on. No, she is not. But did naturally fill in both of her Yakuhai pairs. So is
scary.
is Tenpai. The 8-so and 1-so are both 1 cut. Or actually, no, the 1-so was 2 cut. Sorry. The 1-so was Genbutsu, so she decides to push that as well. We do see the sumo shutting down Claire's Haneman. This is, iconic for Riichi Nomi, but definitely tragic for Claire, who, can probably afford to take a bit of a hit like this after her plus 74 last game.
Wow, what a starting hand by Amy. Already Ishanten.
Misses out. I don't know if there was a double reach chance or not. I didn't see the hand in time. Oh, but that is a potential for a Dora Tanki, which does seem very exciting. It is the south round, so it's going to be a little bit hard to convince anyone to cut that south door regardless if you do dealer Riichi. And our double south player has 2 of them. And not only do they have 2 of them, they have a very solid hand themselves. With unfortunately an extra pair, but just they have all shapes, no useless tiles in the hand. Have a quick west palm out of. Ooh, nope. Amy is locked into this Dora. Is not interested in that 3/5 Kanchan. We see the shape fill in as well for Claire. Just trying to get anything going for herself. Maybe even just a west only. Izzy Shanten here. Maybe like a west only 40 food type deal if in some worlds.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could be fighting against the 3rd place player as the 4th place player. You just kind of want to shut down their dealership as quickly as possible.
Yep, I agree. Claire adds potential acceptance to the hand, is going to go ahead and lock the 9-mon pair. I'm looking to pawn it and maybe shift this to Toy Toy in some greedy worlds.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice because 5-mon doesn't help that much.
Here is the Dora Tanki Riichi.
That's what you're waiting for.
That's Tenpai for Claire, just jams it in. Has no interest in trying to mess around with safe tiles because she doesn't have any. Well, here's an interesting decision path as well for Kevin, who's in a comfortable 2nd place, but has no idea what this dealer could potentially be waiting on. Plays the only safe tile they have. Claire's not willing to push the 4-so after cutting the 6-pin so bravely.
Okay, well, let's see how Kevin right navigates this. If they want to win this hand, can't bail too hard.
It's definitely a hand that you can believe in winning. You really just have to find some way to justify any of the bad luck. But it doesn't matter. We're gonna see another dealer Manga News.
Wow.
Oh,
wow,
and the only indicator.
That was the last Dora in the bowl.
The last door in the wall and the last east in the wall were exactly where they needed to be.
Wow. And now the
Sometimes,
game is actually really close now. Claire is the only
sometimes
one that's
Mahjong
under
really do
30,000.
just be fun. This is one of those games where just third place is just not fun. Getting third place at a game like this is just not a happy time, especially if
Yeah.
you're Kevin, who's currently in third place while watching, while being the only one at the table that knows that Amy sumoed the last South.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean everyone. I mean at least in this league, you get plus positive UMA if you're above 30,000, which
I believe
ev-
we actually switched that now. So I think if you were third place above 30,000, you just get +0.
I see.
I think
At
it's
least not negative.
yeah, it's 1550 minus 20 now, and that is one of the changes between the beta season and season one. We can shift this to a
Here's
holy two if you cut the five
yeah,
so pair. That's
you
definitely
should
the
do
way
it
I
for
like
sure.
going with this hand. Got to get as much value as possible here.
Ooh,
Oh nope, not gonna see it. Likes the callability maybe. It's maybe doesn't like the fact that the both the east and the chun are one cut already. Yeah, and then if you're the only one positive like Claire was last game, you get +20 as opposed to the +15 that you would get last season. And second, third, and fourth get 0, -5, and or sorry, what is it? What did I just say?
um,
Information. Where Discord.
15.
It's 0, -5, -15. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
my brain kind of left the body there for a little bit.
No problem. And meanwhile, Claire is actually Yushantan for potential Pingfu, potential Itsu.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of
There's
good choices
the
here.
Yeah, I imagine if she had drawn the Riichi Nomi Tenpai, I imagine we would have seen a 8-9 mon cut anyway because this hand had the potential to also even include like a Sanchoku in some worlds. Either 3-4-5 or 2-3-4,
Here's
depending
the
on how it was
Tenpai.
drawn. Tenpai, yep, for just Riichi Pinfu.
Maybe
Ooh,
deciding if they want the Sanchoku,
yeah, the
like
Sanchoku
potential.
upgrade's so good too because 8 pins the Dora. Yep,
Okay,
chooses the Dama. Can't say I hate it. Oh,
they
sorry.
do need points.
Uh, we're gonna see the pass. We do see the pass. It might be one Claire's kicking herself about, but at the same time, you got to tell yourself that 5 mon probably is not coming out on the Apatsu turn.
Yeah, I mean Yushan 10-4 AB here, just south, but
Oh, there is the Tenpai as well for Kevin. Claire's still trying to find any
Riichi.
sort of value here. I imagine we'll see this being in a Forso
oh,
Tenpai here for Amy.
it is double Musuji.
And does jam it. And that
Nice.
clears the way for Kevin as well. Will we see a Sumogiri chase here from Claire? Oh no.
Oh,
Oh wait, that's just it's not the worst. It only deals into Amy for 1500, but still.
Riichi.
really?
Yeah, there it
Yeah.
is.
Dom.
She does not lose this
Unfortunate.
pick. Yeah, I
Maybe kicking
apologize.
herself for not reaching and just taking the Pingfu, reach Pingfu.
Yeah. I mean,
But
it'd be that way sometimes. I can't really fault it because like 8 pin draw there is a one Han like three is a one
300.
tile 3 Han upgrade. Um
Yeah.
the thing
But
is
you
like
just choose
the
not to take the
yeah,
win.
the Sanchoku's
It's hard
not
to say,
guaranteed though. That's the thing.
right?
Yeah. It's one of those things where just like you kind of feel hemmed in by your point situation, but the unfortunate reality is sometimes Mahjong is just not a nice enough game for you to do that.
Yeah, maybe if it was like you had to get first place or had to
Yeah,
get like third place, then you can take.
yeah. It's definitely a play to try to
Home.
get yourself back over 30 points, or at least like drag someone down here with you if they deal in,
Yep.
and avoid that awful -20.
Yeah.
But we do see a very nice hand here for Amy.
Chi.
Has potential for the Pinzu, Itsu. That draw probably a little bit harder now. I'd still take the Ishanten and just jam the 5 especially now when you see the what's going on to your left.
Yeah. I think
But shoot,
speaking of
choose.
Ishanten, that is what Kevin is right now with
Yep,
for
just
Honitsu here.
just Honitsu, but it's something. It'll get them 2,600 points plus killing first place deal when they are actively trying to get further away from you. Is always a nice thing to see. Oh, Amy gets rewarded for declining the Ishanten. Now has a significantly wider Ishanten with that Forso draw.
Yeah, exactly. And with the Dora, being Fedora is definitely possible here.
Pandora would be massive here, especially when you know that Kevin to your left is going to have a hard time defending, having opened their hand twice. Ooh, and even adds even more acceptance now. Yeah, can't go holding around a safe-ish chun when you got acceptance that wide. Could even see we could even see a Dora pair up here. There is one on the wall. Could it be a Dama Tanpin Dora too? Which for me, playstyle wise, is almost always a Dama, but I've seen the robots telling us that we're supposed to Riichi those these days. Claire is Tenpai, for a Riichi Dora too.
Riichi.
Could take it's gonna probably take the 8-pin Kanchan so that she doesn't have to cut the Dora to Riichi. And we'll just kind of see, but this is gonna be a quick chase from Amy.
Riichi.
6-9 pin waiting on the Genbutsu. Unfortunately, the 6-9 pin is not very live. But we are going to see the fight here, and we do have a Tenpai as well from Kevin to our left. 7 pin gets drawn into Kevin to our right hand, who also has a somewhat reasonable Ryanshanten, but like you're fighting 3 Tenpais here. You don't know that Kevin is Tenpai, but you can suspect just from some of the tiles that they might decide to push. Yeah, we've got 6-9 pin versus 8-pin Kanchan. Oh, and Holmes the Tuso. What are we gonna choose to see the wait? Holmes the Tuso to continue waiting on the Tuso. Might be able to bait Kevin in if that last Tuso comes.
Yeah, I mean, they did improve the weight to 2-5 so with 1 left in the wall, with 1-5 so left in the wall at least.
Maybe just wanted to skip their draw a little bit. Ooh, not something you can really cheat. Oh no!
Wrong.
Well, Claire does get some points back. Are we going to see an Ura to take this up to manga? No, but with 2 Homebo and an additional stick in the middle, she's still getting almost 8,000 points. And that is going to be bad for Kevin, but good for Claire's fighting chances of getting out of last place.
Yeah, still pretty close up in the top. But yeah, definitely hurts his chances.
Yeah, that is definitely what you want to see is if you're Amy. Is like, if I'm not going to win this hand, then I don't want to be the one that deals into it at the very least. And opens up a
Exactly.
little bit wider of a gap from her to second place. Now just has to weather the rest of South Round without a dealership while holding on to her first.
Yeah. And here we have Kevin as dealer, potential like 2 completed shapes, potential Itsu, maybe just Pingfu, and has a Dora in hand if they pair it up.
That
like
Dora
to-
Haku is gonna probably be the center of a lot of play on this hand because our toyman Kevin Kevin across from us also has a floating white dragon Dora and has 4 pairs, so definitely a hand that you can make use of it with. Ooh, but does draw a 6-pin into a normal shape. We'll see if now's when they decide to cut the Haku if they want to greed for it. No, just does hedge their bets towards a normal hand. Whereas Kevin in front of us continues drawing Sozu. Now 1 tile away from that Itsu. Oh, but Penchant fills in there as well. For Kevin across from us, who is now in a very nice Ishanten.
Yeah, everyone's making slow improvements to their hands now, but looks like just Kevin, the dealer, is actually.
That's gonna be Tenpai. We're gonna take this Riichi on the east. I kind of like it. Just because like you're actively fighting with Kevin right now for second place. Oh, but never mind. The east is 2 cut.
Yeah, East is
So-
unfortunately 2 cut, so we'll have to wait for probably an improvement here.
In that
In
case,
shape.
honestly, like how do you feel about declining the Tenpai there? Just cutting 7 on.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Another option is just East, and then
Yeah,
Riichi.
that's also fair. Okay, but gets the Pinfu. Gonna be waiting 6-9 mon for just Riichi Pinfu, but
Riichi.
Kevin in front of us. Oh, waiting on the 3-mon Genbutsu, maybe trying to trap someone, but there's not really the value there, unfortunately.
I mean,
It's
he is
the-
dealer, and it is sushi to him. Like,
Yeah.
might come out.
Yeah, I might have just been tempted to continue greeting this hand, but I can definitely see the logic here. 3-mon definitely looks like a pretty reasonable tile to discard if you are trying to fold this hand as Amy or Claire. And you know that Kevin doesn't need it.
Yeah. Okay.
They are all held in hands, so it would have to be someone making the conscious choice that 3-mon is the safest tile in their hand, which it very well could be. with the way these players have cut. In fact, yeah, the one Mon Genbutsu comes out from Claire, but she might be on a path to cut this three spawn. Oh, there the two so becomes Genbutsu, so that's probably what we're
But
gonna
they
see.
are tempo now. Clear is tempo. Okay, denies tempo. They would have to throw the four mon, which is
Yeah, Formon looks pretty bad. It is now. It would
okay.
be. Ooh, that's Tempai for
That's
Claire?
like again has
Yeah,
another choice.
it's gonna
Could be
be two
2-5.
5-mon weight. Yep, takes the Dama. Doesn't really feel comfortable with it.
I
But
mean, you do have a Yaku already, so you can win.
yep.
And
But I might if I'm jamming that one, so I'm probably jamming it with the
Dong.
stick. Yep. Oh, but there's the 3-mon. It finally comes out as Amy ran out of safe times. As the unfortunate reality of what happens when your hand builds vertically.
yep. Not enough tiles to play around with, unfortunately. And 3-mon was probably the safest tile in her hand.
It's hard to that decision when you're looking at. Well, you just saw Claire push a one cell that looks pretty awful, honestly. So now you've got alarm bells going off there as well as for the two Riichis.
Yeah. So Kevin's happy about that
Dong.
and has a pair of his East Winds here. Could call for a faster hand, and they just drew the Dora.
Yeah, Dora draw is very good, but we do see Amy pawn the non and is drawing tiles that are contributing to this Honitsu. And we'll see whether or not it looks like she's gonna full greed for it. Had the option to just take like a 1,000 point hand, just try to skip this deal, but she's drawing like this was the only path for the hand.
Yeah, making her life easy. Meanwhile, I mean, we could see Claire also going for Honitsu. Probably not, but has the Uncle of North.
Yeah, I think with that draw we are gonna see it because
Yeah, maybe.
really like the tiles in hand really aren't like any better than the shapes he has in Manzu.
Yeah, if you don't go for your values, like going to be Riichi Nomi.
One penchant
Oh.
fills in. Kevin decides to cut the 9-pin here to make sure that the Dora is always getting used in the final shape. Oh, Tempai here for Amy. It's gonna be on 8-9 so. And
Comes on here.
I believe no, because that actually puts
Yeah.
Kevin to across from us into an Ishanten. With a lot of different tiles to accept. Can palm this to Tempai and cut 2 so. Yep. So waiting on 7 so. Unfortunately, those 7 so are not very likely to leave Amy's hand. Oh, that's a fantastic draw for Claire. Is that Tempai? No, not quite. Very hard to read Manzu specifically sideways.
Yeah, but it is Ishanten, I believe.
Yeah, looks like it is on any of 1-mon, 3-mon, 6-mon, and 8-mon.
Yeah, I believe so.
It would just be Honitsu Nomi unless she can get it closed, in which case there's the value. But here's her potential. Chooses not to call for it. Definitely wants the close and gets it.
Here
That's
it
gonna
is.
be a 3-mon cut to Tempai, waiting on an 8-mon Kanchan.
Riichi.
Yep, and there it is. 8-mon is the only weight here. We do see 3 of them. 1 in discard piles, 2 in hands. But it does get a fold out of the dealer. Meanwhile, Amy's weight is still very live. We see 3 of the 8 so and 2 of the 9 so on the wall, but she's going to have to decide what she's willing to push into this Riichi from Claire, which looks kind of disturbing.
Yeah. Fortunately for her, she hasn't just drawn anything too dangerous yet.
Yeah.
Deciding to push the tune in the 2-pin.
Yeah, especially with the Dora. You see all 4 of the Dora, so and there's the Sumo.
Rewarded.
Yeah, beautifully made crafted Honitsu there. Widens her gap by a significant margin. Now has the magic number of over 10,000 points away from second place, which means a Mangan Sumo is not enough to overtake her without some palm power sticks in the middle.
Yeah, Kevin Draw Left will just have to set it up so that they can win.
Yeah.
They set themselves up so that a Mangan Sumo will push them to first.
Yeah,
The dealership is over.
Yeah, and unfortunately with this hand, it's looking like it might be your best bet might be just to try and South 4 or hope, or play for a repeat from Claire.
But Claire is Chitoi Ishanten already.
Chitoi Ishanten with some very strong pwnable tiles. This is one of those hands where I like to say that my opinion on Toy Toy is that Toy Toy is bad unless it's good, but this is one of those hands where Toy Toy is good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like you have to go for Toy Toy. You
Yeah, you
can
can definitely
always.
just draw Chitoi Tenpai and just Riichi on something. But Claire might have some bigger dreams
Oh,
than
here's
that.
a choice.
Home.
Choice. There
Yeah,
it is.
I
I
very
like
much
it.
like this palm.
I like it as
70.
well.
Yeah, if you can get the Haku, it's going to be at least 7,700 points, and potentially a Mangan if you can get if you can get Sananko added, which is admittedly difficult. We've got some very interesting shapes from Amy as well here. Has a Izzy Shanten for a hand that she could Dama, because her only there's a con.
Kang.
You
Have
have
to
to.
imagine we see this. Yes. And, the East unfortunately is one cut. The fact that Claire, oh, there's the Haku. Is that going to come right out? No.
We'll see how long the Haku stays in Kevin's hand.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Meanwhile, Kevin to our left's hand has kind of turned into something worth playing. With that West Onko. Ooh, and
Yeah.
this is very much looking like a Toitsuba hand or a pairs-based hand with all these Onkos filling in across the board. Amy now has a lot of different Ishan tens for potential Sananko, or does he Peiko? Could even palm this, but I feel like palming this is probably a little bit too.
Oh, E2.
Each.
Yep.
Potential.
Oh, there's
Here
the
it is.
Itsu.
Oh,
Riichi
decides not to take
Itsu.
it.
Oh no.
Takes
Okay,
the
Riichi
ninth.
takes the higher win rate here, feeling like the 9 so is probably pretty likely to get dropped given
I mean, you
the
do get
proximity.
2 Uras here.
Yep, and
And
here's the tile that's probably gonna come out.
Long.
there it is.
Unfortunate for Claire. Not who you really wanted to hit if you're Kevin, but you can't really decline a win. And there's
I guess
you
2 Ura.
Uradora, you called it.
Reward it. Yep. Nice.
Oh,
And
does
that was the Mangan Sumo, so now he just needs
Yep.
what, 3 Han?
Yeah, not the
Or
Mangan Sumo, but the Mangan itself.
oh, sorry, yes, the
Yep.
Mangan Ron, which puts them into
Yeah,
well,
they are believe 2,500 points down if my quick maths is correct, which means they need a 2 and 40 hand here, or even they can get if they can get a 2 Han 30 Fu Sumo, it will be a tie, which is split Uma in this league. I'm pretty sure. I personally would have greeted for the Itsu, but it paid off.
yeah. Yeah, I guess you can't guarantee you're gonna hit any Ura, even if you do flip an extra one. But
Yeah.
very
Claire
nice.
is, of course, not happy, but there's got to be a little bit of karma back after a plus 75.
Yeah, I mean, so this is Kevin's comeback. Hopefully, well,
Yeah.
that's what
This
he
is
wants.
this is
Here
gonna
is the
be
left hand.
Kevin's push. The huge push here is like over 30K. I think what a lot of us realized over the course of the beta league was how important being over 30,000 points is. And this is the hand to do it. And just a quick south only. Just call down your hand and try to win it even with these bad shapes.
Yeah, you do have to be careful with just winning a little bit because you could get sumoed out of 30K for the
Yeah,
next hand. So, but
we'll
yeah, you would
cross that.
definitely still want to call this.
We'll cross that bridge
Oh.
next hand.
Right, exactly.
Kevin Izzy Shanten. If they can add any Yaku here, it will be enough. But as it is, Riichi Nomi will only be enough points to overtake on a direct hit. Or with Uradora, which I'm not sure he'll want to trust 2 hands in a row.
Yeah, you'll be banking on the sumo in there right there.
Yep. Unfortunately, the hand is not built in a way where a sumo would be 40 fu, unless there are some drastic shifts in the shapes. This is Tenpai though,
Each.
because they are going to decide to take
Take it.
it. Needs the
I mean, you
sumo
can
on
get the 5 so and con it, and then you would have the 42.
a sumo with no Ipatsu or Ura will be a tie.
Yeah. And
Unless
anyway, I
someone
mean, it
else
does keep Kevin underneath 30K if he wins
Yep.
this, which will still
Yep. That is
be
pretty
beneficial.
important. Though I think now, yeah, this season, this is the other thing with that change. It no longer is in second place best interest, or actually no, it was never in second place best interest to
It's
keep
just
it.
neutral for second
Yeah,
place.
yeah, it's neutral for second place if the third place is above or below 30K. I really have no rooting interest here, but there's the sumo. We're gonna see the Ura.
Can we see
Right as
it?
Amy hit a Tanyan Tenpai. Oh, the Ura's
Oh,
three!
did you say 1 Ura? How about 3?
Amy hit Tenpai there on the 5 so, but it was not enough as Kevin Sumo's the last 7 pin in the wall and finds 3 Uradora. Absolutely brutal to see your first place taken away from you like that, but huge for Kevin.
Yep. And I mean, positive points for Claire, and I think she's definitely still in like plus 30 at the end of these two
Yeah,
games. So
yeah. After 2 games, she's gonna be at a nice like plus 30, which is like not what you really want, but like when when your 1-4 is plus 30, that's still pretty good. She's looking at the updated standings that just came in. She drops to fourth in A2, but which is still within range of obviously very early in the league of the A1 promotion, but
yeah,
that's not a not the ideal way of things.
yeah. Unfortunately for Kevin S, he had a good start in the beginning with but in that Hanchan, but ended up falling short because the other two players, Amy and the Kevin
Yeah,
that won first,
just
they made great comebacks.
yeah, just
Even
a few unfortunate sumos, especially that last one to take 4K away from the dealership. But the current standings show that 3 of the 4 players at this table are neck and neck. We've got Amy, Claire, and Kevin N all 4th, 5th, and 6th. Stream has pulled up the current top 4 of each individual bracket. As you can see, we've got Claire playing in front of us there in 4th place in A2 with plus 30. All right, it has gone away. And it is back. Yeah, as in the yeah, one thing that you'll notice here with if when you see the top 4 in most of the brackets, it's a lot of players that have already played their 4 games. And then you have noted outlier Korak Arthur who has played 1 game and got a plus 60. So still waiting on 3 more of his A1 games.
yeah, Vestal. Hopefully he doesn't follow the same fate as Claire, getting
The other
almost.
the other notable occurrence here, and to me, is Dustin is plus 48 with 2 firsts and 2 fourths because of the quality of one of those firsts, which was not a very fun table to play, especially at 1 a.m. my time. But it was definitely definitely one of note as he ran it to he ran it to East 4-5 and South 4-7 in that game.
Yes, I do remember seeing that on stream. It was
Yeah.
definitely, or it's not a stream. It was
Definitely not.
definitely, it was commentated at least on the Discord. Um, and yeah, that was a crazy hunt on to look at. All right, so this is the
Yep.
third game.
Yep. Looks like we've got
They're
3 minutes
playing.
here. But yeah, as you see, Claire, Kevin, and Amy all are 4th, 5th, and 6th right now in A2. Claire's got 13 points up on Kevin, who's got 6 points up on Amy, who's got 7 points up on the next player. But obviously, we will see a lot of that switching. The other A2 table that had yet to finish their games is currently playing as well. Looks like they have finished one of their 2 Hanchan that were left tonight. Uh,
Nice,
lots
and
of
we'll
lots of
see the
shakeups.
standings update real time on the stream as their games progress, finish
Lots
up.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes to kill here. We didn't really get to do too much of an introduction for Anthony because he was held up a little bit getting to the stream. So if you want to take some time here to say hello.
Yeah, well, I'm Anthony, also known as Mister. It's my handle. I am part of the Seattle Mahjong Riichi Club, and I'm glad to do commentary with you guys.
Yep. Very much appreciate you joining me. Always very appreciative of the Seattle Riichi Mahjong Club. Nothing really that is happening right now would exist without Edwin and the support that he gets from you guys.
Yeah, I mean the club is up and running. We're getting a huge influx of people after we opened up after COVID died down a bit up here, and we've got a new horde of people that showed up after COVID, and some people are even playing in this league right now. So
Time to
really
throw them.
excited
Time to throw
to see
them
it
into the
progress.
fire.
Exactly right, and it's
Yeah,
the best way to learn, I think.
yeah, I recently had a few friends actually move out to Seattle, but they are not people I've been convinced to play the silly tile game.
Maybe you should come over here and then bring them over to the club. We're open to visitors. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess I'm playing in the A. I'm also in the A2 league right now. As
Yep.
you could see me at the -4.6 section.
Very
Playing.
a very neutral set of first games with a 1-1-1-1.
Yes, I did win bingo here, placement bingo.
Yep. It looks
So
like you're the only one to do so far, at least in Pool A2.
yeah,
Very
I'll hold
excited to
on to
see.
some.
Very excited to see these games getting done early. Lots of there's a lot of excitement, especially among the beta league players, who just get into the season. But we are back into the games. Looks like we've got Kevin S as our first dealer here, really looking to just make something happen after being the one on the receiving end of the unfortunate results so far.
Yeah, and yeah, we see East as the Dora here. No one, there's like isolated East out, and Kevin across from us throws it right away. No one's hand seems particularly fast. Some Contron waits some in Claire's hand over to the right. Yeah,
I'm
no
trying.
one.
I'm trying not to laugh at the fact that Gimmick just got timed out by the by the auto mod.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we did see that East door come out first turn from Kevin. It looks like they just didn't want to mess around with anyone being able to use it.
okay. Early call from Kevin, our dealer here, looking for Sanjaku or Junchan.
Junchan Shansoku looks like it's gonna be the route. Gonna be a little bit tough as they need to find 2 of the 3 pin with the current shape of the hand, but they can always find something around that 9 pin to maybe ease that burden.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see a shift if they can.
Yeah,
Here's a bonus.
the other issue here is gonna be okay, yeah, pawn's that, just gonna try to find another head that works. The other issue with that is gonna be the fact that the one mon's been cut twice already.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Might cause them to get free 10 here.
Yep.
Even
But their if their calls might the fact that they're both in Sozu might scare some people off, even though their discard really do not indicate a Sozu Honitsu in any way whatsoever.
yeah, that's definitely true. Meanwhile, Claire is Ishan 10. Ideally, it would draw the 6-0, and then they get into Pink Fu
Chooses
here.
not to take it, does not want to throw that north. Yep. Feeling a little bit sussed out by it with the potential Chanta and the fact that north is Shampai.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin did throw away the East, so it would probably just be Chanta at that point.
Oh, unfortunate
I,
backfire on the East Dora. I feel like that's a tile that could have been held onto a little bit if the decision to go for Chanta had been made slightly earlier.
yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, if they do draw the last East, they could. I mean, they could definitely
Oh,
shift in.
there's the so how do you want to play this? Yeah, does not want to mess around waiting for that last East. Just wants the potential Jinchan, which if you can get this one mon, the Jinchan is going to be 5,800 points, like with the Sanshoku. So it's definitely like worthwhile. Oh, hello. Meanwhile, that is a Suanko Tenpai again.
Let's go. Yeah, I didn't want to
Oh,
curse it. I saw it and I was like, oh, is this gonna end up being it?
we might see the 1 pin deal right in here. No, okay, gonna push their Tenpai, but I imagine if we do see the Tenpai come in from Kevin, we're gonna see a very unfortunate 1 pin deal in.
Yeah.
6 stock. The Suanko is dead.
Yeah,
The
so
5
that's
pins
it.
are the 5 pins are both in Kevin's discard pile, and the 1 pins are both in Kevin's hand. Oh
So it'll
sorry,
be Toy Toy Sanko
yeah,
if it comes out of.
Riichi Toy Toy Sananko. Ura 3 will be a Baimon. Oh, but chooses to cut the 9 pin Gembutsu, so maybe out of the woods on the 1 pin danger. Might sense that something's amiss, despite the lack of Dora available to the hand. Personally, as dealer, if I don't see Dora, I really just don't care what your Riichi is. I'm fighting. Oh, that's
Oh,
Tenpai.
that's.
Yeah, that's gonna be unfortunate. Do we see the Ura 3 for Baimon, or is it just air quotes Among Us? No, no Ura 3. No more Ura-san. That was for last game.
Yeah, that's only for South 4. Unfortunate for Kevin. As he needed to. He was in last place.
Yeah.
Um,
I do want to put this out there, just as a disclaimer. I do see flashes of lightning and thunder outside of my apartment, which is the home of both me and our broadcaster tonight. So If the stream cuts out randomly, that's why. Just as
Good to
a
know. Good to know.
just as a random disclaimer, in case we all die.
We'll be on the lookout. We'll try to make it as entertaining as possible before you
Well,
guys cut out.
we won't have a stream is the problem. So.
Yeah,
Oh, that's Chitoi Shanten for Kevin, trying to get back some of those 8,000 points. It's also Chitoi Dora too. Or Chitoi Dora 2 Ishanten. Also very callable with that East Dora if they do get it. Oh, that's an Anko.
Ooh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Well, what do they
So many
want to do here?
choices.
No, they don't want it. All right. That is going to be a Kanchan fill for our dealer Claire. Is now Ishanten for maybe Pinfu if she can fill in another Kanchan. But we'll just kind of see what happens there. Looks like another Toitsuba, as we also see that Kevin to our right has 2 Ankos in a pair, and is also Ishanten for what would be a 50 Fu Riichi Nomi. Another Anko draw! Oh, that's brutal.
Didn't believe.
Didn't believe. Which, I mean, fair. But doesn't make it hurt any less. Oh, but there's the Chitoi
There's-
Tenpai, you know, that feels a little bit better. Gonna be Dama on the 1 pin as they have
Each.
Dora 2. Oh, Claire fills the Pinfu Tenpai waiting 3-6 pin. I imagine we'll see Kevin chase this. Anko being a concealed triplet gimmick.
Okay. We see Kevin to our right throwing
Oh,
the
another
gate.
Anko! It would have been Suwaka Tenpai, but it was killed by the Apatsumo regardless. So maybe this is a better world.
Yeah, this is less painful, maybe.
Yeah, slightly less painful. Definitely equally painful, let's be honest. Kevin is not having a good time. That's just icing on the cake.
Yeah. See a completed block for Claire over here. It's some pentrons and other shapes with the floating Dora in hand. We see some pretty good shapes for Kevin to our right here with the Salmin-chan.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
quick pawn from Amy on the Hatsu, looking to just accept the 8 pin into the Dora Kanchan she's got, and just maybe just get out of here with 2K and take Claire's lead away or take Claire's deal away from her before we have a repeat of the first game. Because when Claire's taking Pinfu Nomi and hitting a Patsumo, it's time to get out.
Yeah. All right. Here's a choice for Kevin. Decides to break up the Ryoncon here in favor of the 2 Yamens.
I don't hate it. It's a little bit tricky to tell when you're supposed to go headless and when you're supposed to go not headless with shapes like this.
Yeah.
But I think in this particular case, I might have preferred the headless just because of how likely you are to find a head in the Manzu.
Right.
Oh, but that's a fantastic fill-in. And now it's a little bit iffy. Now I kind of like it because this guarantees Pinfu.
Right. This is the
Yeah,
better value.
Yeah, even
And
if
you have a Semenchan.
Yeah, even if you draw ahead here, in the Manzu, like you don't really want to reach this on a Kanchan. Like the shapes are
Right.
too good. Four pin
Okay.
comes out. Claire decides not to pawn it. Really does not feel like this hand is gonna be a. Does not feel like this hand is going to be a Tanyao. Just kind of like form it in Menzen and just see what happens. Though that is a fantastic draw for her.
Good draw. Good draw.
We'll see what she wants to do here. Does she want the Ishanten or does she want to hold on to the Dora?
I imagine she's gonna break 1-2 pin. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One.
You could also kind of hedge a little bit and cut the 6-mon, but yeah, just kind of see what happens. Because even if she does 3 pin, it's not that bad of a backfire. You just cut 4.
Yeah, just got 4 pin. Taki on the Taki weight on the.
And even now, yeah, now you just get the Dora Kanchan, which is way better than the kills Tanya Penchon. Of course,
Exactly.
yeah, the classic cut your Kanchan and of course draw it immediately for Kevin on the right, as opposed to the Sun Menchan and Ryan Men. And draws it back again.
But you did get Ipeko potential here with
Yeah.
by keeping the one pin after he drew the 3 pin.
Yep.
Which is
Oh,
good.
and that's gonna be Tenpai for
Tenpai.
Claire. Do we see a Dama here? It's a potential option.
Each.
Nope. Gonna see. Sees Kanchan +2, takes Kanchan +2. Definitely not a Dama that I would take, but definitely a Dama that it's one of those things where it's like it's a play style thing. I think whether or not you Dama this hand.
Okay.
So
And Kevin to our right decides to slow down his hand a bit. Decides to throw Genbutsu instead of the Suji Naimon.
The Genbutsu 2 pin comes out. Might see a attempted yeah, looks like we're gonna see the attempted Mowashi of the 1 pin cut now. To try to find just to use the lock the 3 pin as the head. unfortunate draw with the Naimon there. But now it does look a little bit better to discard if you want to continue washing around that 8 cell.
Yep. I mean, Amy across from us hasn't had to throw away her Ishantan yet. Was able to throw away all save tiles.
Willing to push the 8 cell. We're gonna see what happens if Kevin finds a Tempai here. It might be a very expensive push if Kevin hits Tempai. Oh, and the 7 cell. Might be that 7 cell might be a little bit too much. No, it's another tile that gets pushed.
Interesting push fold.
Have to think that the 7 pin's going to get pushed then if he gets Tempai, if he's willing to push this hard. Because the 9, like, let's be honest, like the 9mon doesn't look that bad here.
Yeah, Naimon I feel like is the safest.
Oh, now the 9mon. Now we should definitely see the 9mon, correct? Potentially. Yeah. Okay. Now he has found his way back to another Ishanten. Probably you should just be looking to call the K10 at this point, if given the opportunity. Oh, and of course,
good draw.
Of course, in his world, that's a backfire on Tempai, but we know,
right?
we know what would have happened.
Definitely still callable, and then probably, I mean,
you've got Manzu. Yeah, you've got Manzu Gemba too, if you can call it in certain ways.
This is also not.
No, that is not going to be Tempai. He needs to draw something, does not find it. Wild that Sun Mention just never filled. I mean, the one mom was fully dead. Nothing else really looked good. Claire's going to be our only Tempai here. Yep.
Yeah.
Looks like Claire is not so eager to give up her deal again.
Now I get to witness it firsthand the whole time.
We got a very interesting hand to our left right off the bat. Double dragon pair, Onko of 9mon. Definitely just looks like it could be either just a quick and even potential toy now with that 6-pin draw. We'll just kind of see how they want to play it.
Chun comes out here.
I like this kind of like this, just hedge your bets. Just take your Tempai. Like if you win, it's gonna be 2 Han and jams the Haku immediately. Claire with no fear. That is like statistically the correct play. It's the longer you sit around and let someone make the Daisanga, the more likely it is to actually be there. If they're given all 3 pairs from Haipai, then good for them.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the way that Kevin is hedging his bets here. Not like forcing the Honitsu too hard here. Because honestly, it's what? It's 4, 8, 8. It's only 40 fu, but with 1,600 points in the middle, it's a healthy 4,200 point run to start you on your path of getting out of here. With very easy upgrades too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can even call this up to 6-pin and upgrade to Toy.
Oh yeah, you absolutely palm the 6-pin if given the opportunity.
Right.
The question is, if you palm the 6-pin and cut 5-mon, do you actually take the 8-mon roll?
Well, I feel like if you're gonna take the 6-mon run here, you might as well take the 8-mon run
6-mon run
later.
6-mon run might be something that we see right now.
Done.
Okay.
Definitely probably the cheapest way that hand could have been won, but is still a very nice 4,200 points with the stuff in the middle.
Yep.
And after Kevin got punished so hard in that first Hanshan for not taking the win, I think they might be a little bit more inclined to not greed this time.
Right. Okay, so we have Kevin has a deal here with 1 Dora. Some shapes to fill in, but looking more like Ping Fu, potential Itsu. It's kind of far away. And then we have Amy also with some Ping Fu looking shapes. So like a lot of Ryamen shapes in her hand. Have good feelings about her.
Something that I actually really like here, not in terms of the actual hand itself, but something that I would like to see happen if given the opportunity is for Failil to call some palms on these Pinzu pairs that they have.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting option. Oh, because
if you can successfully bluff people into thinking that you've actually got a reasonable Honitsu/Shinitsu, you can significantly affect the way that they play the table or the hand. Which
it's actually not unreasonable that you would actually get the Honitsu.
Yeah, it's like because if you can get them to fold to your somewhat phantom Honitsu, honestly, at least at this stage. Not if he draws like this. But if you can get them to fold to your phantom Honitsu, then that gives you time to make it a real Honitsu. And it also can make them cheap in their hand. Maybe they open for that Tanya Dora 1 instead of trying to Riichi it.
Okay. So Amy deciding to slim down her hand, keeping the well, keeping the safer Haku, I guess.
Yeah.
Although
Unfortunately for
it's not
Kevin,
actually that's it.
Claire's holding a lot of the Pinzu that Kevin wants. Yeah, Amy's got that Pinfu Shanten. Could just jam it on. Has Dora acceptance for it as well, so could be Riichi Pinfu Dora. Uh, it's an interesting draw here for Kevin. Gonna see chooses to cut the one so head, just kind of like keep as many shapes alive as possible, and just keep the West around for general safety later.
Yeah. Okay. And now Amy keeps the 4-pin around here.
Gimmick, we relax Nightbot a little bit, but we let's not spam that much.
Not much progress made by our dealer here. Still has Adora, but still actually quite far away. From
Yeah, this is a
I can't
really
even count.
this is a really interesting poem. I think it's like because obviously you have the 1-2 shape, but you also feel like you want to make progress. And this could even just be like a Chinitsu Toy Toy.
Yeah,
If you can.
definitely will need some good draws, but I
Yeah.
mean, you saw Haku come out and no one called it, so
Yeah, and with
you
with the 3-pin palm, like if the tiles and especially the 3-pin cut from Claire now, if the 2-pin and 1-pin don't come out, you can feel pretty good about your ability to draw them, even though in this case the 2-pin are in use by Claire.
right.
Is that
But
Tempo? No, not quite. Claire's got her own kind of hand going on over there. She's got Chito Shanten as well as a bunch of Pinzu tiles of her own.
yeah, unfortunately for Amy, she just hasn't drawn anything to actually complete her hand. She's been drawing tiles that she doesn't need.
Yeah, like these tiles essentially, like these tiles might as well all be Sumagiri. Like you see a bunch of Tadashis of her just switching out tiles.
And we see Kevin, our dealer, drawing another Dora, now Chitoi Shanten for
This is
Chitoi Dora
a
2.
Tenpai for Kevin. It is a dead Tenpai. It chooses not to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think taking the Tenpai there is particularly bad. I don't think the
Yeah, I don't
North.
think so either, because the 1-2 pin does look kind of good in the wall.
This is gonna be its own Chitoy. Are we gonna see 3-so meme? We are gonna see 3-so meme.
Okay, Chitoi Dora 2,
Yep.
minimum.
This dealer definitely a scary hand, and definitely now that North that's in Kevin's hand is looking a little sus.
Yeah, it's no cut, Shompai.
Somehow that's Shumpai in the third row, and the dealer just Riichi. That's oh, Amy hits Tenpai. She willing to jam the 7-mon, is willing to do so because it is Riichi Tile Suji. Cut her Dora acceptance, but is still waiting on a very nice 3-6 pin. Actually, it's just a 6-pin because we know that the 3-pin is dead. We also know that the 6-pin is probably not coming out. So Amy looks like she's drawing dead here versus a 3-so that actually still has 2 tiles in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it
there
is.
it is. That is going to be a dealer Hanemon at least. We have not seen the Ura 2 Baimon for Chitoy yet. We still have not.
Still 20.
I
6,000 all.
tried to will it into existence. All right, I'm sorry.
Hey, if you think about it too hard, then it won't happen, right?
True. It's desire sensor. It's desire sensor.
All right, but gets rewarded with a good hand too.
Yep, very probably the fastest table though. Claire might have something to say about that with 4 pairs in the Hatsu, including Hatsu.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, the dealer hand, potential Tanya Ping Fu, has floating Dora if they pair it up. Very good. I guess Amy's hand is.
Oh, that's a
they
5th
can fill out
pair
their
for
pensions.
5th pair for Claire. I do just
Oh
want
yeah.
to reiterate this is actually a full Riichi Nomi table. Though I do know that I think Kevin across from us is not someone that I have met at least, but I do know they are also in New York City.
Yeah, he was actually originally from the Seattle Mahjong Club, and yes.
Hopefully we can see him turn this one around because he has not been having the best of times so far. Another Onko draw.
Oh,
This is not
interesting
happening
choice.
again, is it?
Interesting choice by Kevin. Decides to keep the Dora here and elects to throw away the 6-pin. Looking for
because they are Chito Shanten.
Yeah, Chitoi Shanten.
You do want to keep the Dora draw just because Tanyao Chitoi with Dora as dealer is a Dama Mangan. Though you can also just reach it for the guaranteed Hanuman the shot at Baimon. But are we gonna see another one of these? How are our tiles looking? Six mon is like fully available. 7 mon is one is available. 2 mon is fully available. 5 pin is dead. So not the most likely Suwanko in the world, but okay, there's the Tenpai.
Tenpai on
So
Dora.
I'm of the opinion that you get the
Each.
Riichi here.
Yeah, technically Suji Dreadful though. I mean, it is on the Dora, so it's still less likely to come out. But
It's just like
Tanya
it's
Dora.
especially this is where even like kind of knowing the people you're playing against a little bit like can kind of come in handy. Because this is definitely like a hand that you could Dama. Like Chitoi Dora Tanki is definitely like Damaable, but like it depends on your read on the table. Like, do you think these players will actually cut Dora at any point in this hand? And if not, you just jam it because Sumo is like at least a Hanuman. Or this
Yeah.
with the Tanya Riichi is actually a Hanuman, or even a Ron is a Hanuman. And not a Hanuman that someone wants to pay.
Yeah, we see Clara bailing out now. Throwing
Yeah,
5-so, 5-so.
looks like everyone is going to be happily getting out of the way of this one. No one really had anything worth fighting for.
Okay, that does mean there's 1 2-so left on the wall.
Yeah, and we've
For
seen a
Kevin's
lot of
Pro.
one-tile weight sumo already in these Hanchan. If someone makes a chief or if there are multiple ways for this to get up to Baimon. The Apatsumo would have been Baimon. As well as Uratu, but also the random Haite/Hote.
And we do see Kevin across from us is electing to yeah, I mean, he has been discarding all safe tiles here, and
But
still is
yeah,
able to keep the Ishan 10.
yeah, the Mawashi, yeah, they've gotten their way all the way to Uing Shanten with I mean the bravest tile they cut was a once cut terminal Suji 9 pin. Definitely not the type of thing that is particularly worrisome into most Riichis.
Yeah.
That 2-so still is missing though. Probably not going to see any calls to shift the Haite Hote around, so we'll go to South player as it does when there are no calls. But Chun, also something potentially dangerous. Unfortunate. Looks like Kevin is not going to hit their Tenpai, but it was a valiant effort that was made very safely, and it looks like that last 2-so was dead walled.
All right. Not a bad result.
No, and it does actually have the added benefit of knocking Claire down below 30k. So now Kevin has a very tenuous grasp on being the only one over 30k. I just realized that we are still in East 3.
Yeah, this one's
It's been quite the game.
Yeah, no one's like actually overrunning it like Claire did in the first Hanchan, for example.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of repeats, some big sumos, but they've kind of canceled each other out for everyone but poor Kevin over there again.
Yep. We have some good trades for Kevin, our dealer here. Yeah, potential for a lot of things here. Most likely Ping Fu, if they can fill in that 3v3 so Kanchan. And we can see a call from our Kevin here.
Yep, there's going to be the Haku Palm. Kevin did win the last hand that had 1,600 points in the middle, so maybe if you're looking to repeat that here with a little bit less value, just looks like a Haku Nomi at the moment.
All right, good weight, so can't fault for that.
Yeah, needs to fill in the 4/5 pin or the 2/3 Monrealman to hit Tenpai, but that is almost assuredly going to happen naturally. In fact, it may happen now. There's the 1 month.
Yep,
That is going to be
Tenpai on
Tenpai.
36 pin.
There are 3 in the wall, which is way below average, honestly, for a Ryanman Tenpai in the first row.
Yeah, but I don't imagine the other players are going to like play defensively against just Hakunomi.
Yeah, I think the players will just play their hands fairly normally here. The only thing to really be concerned about a little bit is that Kevin has
West
already
cut.
Yeah, Kevin has already cut the West door, so there's really no reason to be worried about anything more than 2,000 points of value here.
Yep, exactly.
It does potentially look like it could be a Manzu Honinsu, but you'd expect them to hold the West a little bit if they were doing that.
I agree.
That is a 5th pair for Claire. Decides that she doesn't want it. Would rather have the Keiko Ryanmen or the Penchan Ryanmen Ishanten.
I know, and we see a call from our dealer here for Tanyo.
Yep. Unfortunately those 3-so are kind of locked up in Kevin's hand, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult for even if you get Tempai to actually win this hand.
Yeah, luckily they
Oh,
can
there's
shift it.
Khan. That is the way to potentially add value to this hand.
Ooh,
Unfortunately, no new Dora.
Odora. Yeah, we also saying our dealer could shift over. Like
Home.
they can call like the 8-so
You know
or
who did
5-so.
get new
No.
Dora was Amy. We got 2 of them, but that Tempai does lead to them dealing in.
That's a bait.
Yeah,
Baited.
unfortunate. Excellently baited. Excellent con.
Yep, and you get the extra 40 foods or like
Just as
extra food
planned.
to push them over. Yeah.
It is known. Alrighty. So we are into East 4 now. Amy finally gets a turn to deal after multiple repeats from both Claire and Kevin. Uh
One hand seems particularly great.
yeah, I think are we paused?
Yeah, we might be paused here because I don't see our player to our right has a 14th tile. So
Yeah,
we may need to refresh the stream here.
yep, it looks like we do need to refresh the stream. This does happen occasionally with 10/4 spectating, but
Yeah.
it looks very clean and it fits our overlays, so we are going to continue using it. There we go. Let's just swap back to our dealer perspective. Nothing, no calls yet. It looks like Kevin on our right is going to be going for Kokushi.
Yeah,
One,
fighting Amy with
three,
the Ishan
4,
10.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 types with no pair. Definitely, definitely a reasonable attempt. Looks like yeah, they're just gonna send it, and so it's time to get rid of these middle Monzu ASAP.
Full send. Yeah,
Yeah,
meanwhile Amy is Ishan 10.
and add some acceptance to their Ishanten as well. That's 11
Yeah.
types with no pair. That's
Ooh.
the pair is usually the hard part or the easy part. So that's the definitely very nice looking. Let's see, what do we need? We need a Chun and we need a
Chun.
9. So we are
Oh,
shut
are we
in.
going to see it?
There are 2 Chun cut.
You just need
That
a
is
pair and a Chun.
unfortunately though, if actually no, wait, no, that 3-mon was the correct tile to cut if Amy hits Tempai. The 3-mon would have been the one that dealt in. Oh, that's
Oh,
Tempai.
there's the
Please don't
pair.
repeat. Oh, it's a
Okay.
hell wait. It's a
One
hell
left,
wait.
one left.
Left. Oh no way. Oh,
Oh my
this
god.
would be so worth the 2.5 games of suffering.
Who's gonna deal in? That's the real like whoever draws this tune is gonna deal in.
Alright,
If
Sumogiri
no one
9
hits
pin.
Template.
Sumogiri 9 pin is your first alarm bell. Especially when you draw if you draw the last Chun, then you know that like if they're Tempai, this is the deal in tile.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much danger these players sense.
Because Claire's found her way to, or sorry, not Claire. Oh, there it
No!
is!
Oh
Comes from
no!
Claire.
Wrong. There we go. Well, that definitely brings
Oh,
Kevin up to first.
that
Does
is
it? Actually, does it even? Oh yeah, it does. It does bring it up to first, and unfortunately, Claire is now back to negative. I think this is the first Yakuman of this season.
that is
So,
the first
congrats
Yakuman of the
to
new league.
Kevin.
Congrats to Kevin, who only had to suffer for 2.5 games to get it, but now finds himself in a very happy first place.
Yeah, that was a great draw. I'm sure he's really happy. I mean, he's also worked hard to defend his first place here. It's not all over for the
Oh,
Sanchon,
absolutely not,
but
especially with how high Kevin is as well. It's always a bit of a bad feeling when you get a Yakuman and you still don't win the Hanchan, but like when
right.
your Yakuman only gets you a 3,000 point lead, makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah. Well, this
Oh,
dealership.
that is
Yeah, that
just
was.
absolute tragedy for Claire, but absolute beautiful for the spectators and us.
Yeah, that was one left in the wall. So
Yeah,
luckily it wasn't. When we saw two Suanko, well, one Suanko Tenpai and one Suanko potential Tenpai in these
and
three
both
games.
of them would have both of them would have failed, which
Right.
is of
So
course natural. We've seen like I think 3 or 4 at least Suanko Tempais already, just from what's been posted about in the chat,
right.
including that tragic one from Nathaniel yesterday, where all
Yeah.
4 of his tiles were dead ball,
That was very tragic.
which was really
Um,
really funny.
yeah, I was watching that game. It was I was like,
Like,
where are the tiles? Okay, but now we have Ishan 10 for Kevin across from us.
Yep, and it's a pretty reasonable Ishanten. It's going to be either Tanya or Dora. Though there is no Pinfu because they have the Ankon of 3-so that's currently being used in a run. They do have to deal with the annoying reality of the fact that they have to have the con button pop up every turn.
Yeah, it's very annoying. Okay, so now we can take the extended realm and wait if you just
Yeah,
put the
you
one. So
Oh, interesting.
okay,
Moves away from the potential Tanya. Could have cut the 1-so there, but maybe once it for potential safety later on. Just happy with their amount of points.
I mean, if you draw the 1-so, then you can con the 3-so. Maybe that's what they're looking for here.
True, that is true. That is true. Though I'm more inclined to want Pinfu than Kanya.
Yeah, I know. I would too, but definitely has and it's not like I'm strictly the worst.
Yeah. It's definitely an option here.
It's a choice.
And it's a choice, and it also it almost guarantees them some safety later on. Meanwhile,
Right.
Kevin is looking to add to their newfound lead with a very, very strong Ishanten.
Yeah, do like it.
Would just be Riichi Tanya. A lot of worlds where this ends up being a Pinfu. Even at most worlds, it ends up being a 3-sided Pinfu.
Yeah. Okay,
Uh,
so we have Tenpai for Kevin across the table, but elects to Dama here.
chooses to Dama. Not only is it Dama, it's
No
Yakunaki.
Yaku.
Yeah. Oh,
Peach.
and there's
Okay.
all right. The wait one turn Sumigirichi, the classic. Will we see the Ipatsumo that just says they knew what they were doing the whole time?
We'll see. Unfortunately, it's not Tenpai for our
Yeah,
dealer.
that's like it's like the most awkward Manzu draw. No Ipatsumo. No seed reading with the Sumigirichi. That is gonna be
Okay.
a 3-sided Senpai. That's Furiten though. So they can take the oh, they're gonna Dama Furiten because honestly 258 is
Oh my god,
very.
yeah, 258 are all gone.
Yeah, I might have been tempted here to jam the 7-mon Riichi for the Entonsu.
Yeah, because not like any of them are safe.
I mean,
Like not like
the 7-mon is Suji to the 4-mon you cut the turn before.
oh yeah, so that 7 was even safer.
Don't get fooled by by the orange color on that 5-mon. It is Furiten.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Claire is Ishanten. Trying desperately to hold on to this Ishanten and seeing if she can just get anything. Unfortunately for her, the tile that's most likely to come. Actually, no. Okay, yeah, still Furiten. But we will see whether or not she's willing to. If she draws the 9-pin, it'd be tragic because then the
Do you think
7-pin.
she's gonna con this when this Hatsu comes in? If it comes in. Okay,
No,
decides
did
not to.
not come out. It was Tenpai. Oh, but here
Okay,
comes.
Tenpai.
This is Tenpai. I imagine this would just be a Hatsu.
Yeah, no reach.
Oh, but 9-pin's Genbutsu actually.
Peach.
Oh, we are gonna see it.
Yep. See if she can just like snag any Patsumo Haite.
6-7.
Certainly not a bad weight. That's a chi I would consider taking, though I don't know if he's got any safe tiles. Just to stop Claire's plan, but it did not work. Definitely a very reasonable play from Claire there. The one tile left Riichi, especially when you can get a Patsumo Haite, just like it's definitely something that's worth pursuing.
Yeah.
And now she's got 2 sticks in the middle to fight for, as well as a pair of self. So definitely going to try to be scooping those up and making something out of nothing here.
And she has a good chance. No one else has pretty fast hands except for Kevin to our left, who has the Haku
Yeah.
pair.
Kevin to our left. It's really just going to depend on how long Kevin to our right holds on to that Haku.
Yeah.
But even still, like the shapes that Kevin has to fill in are not necessarily ones that will fill in naturally after the Haku.
Right.
Has a penchant. It's just some floaters.
And Claire also has a bunch of penchants, unfortunately, to fill. But
yeah, but she can be a little bit more aggressive about opening for it, I think, because she just
yeah. Okay, that's a
does not
good
have
draw.
time to care. Yeah, it's a great draw. Turns 2 penchants into 2 like pawnable like Kanchan penchant things.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the term is for it. Yep. Chooses to cut the penchant. So now can get Tenpai on 2-mon, 3-so, or 4-so. Yep, there it is. All right, gonna be Tenpai. Still Ishanten for Kevin to our left. But we've got to ignore this, but Amy's casually got a Dora Anko, by the way.
That's true. I think she actually started with the Dora Anko. I missed that.
I saw the 4-mon Anko. It just didn't occur to me that it was Dora.
Dora, yeah, exactly right. Sorry about that.
Claire picks up the sticks, gets herself back into positive, and knocks Kevin out of his first place.
Oh,
Gonna
wow.
fill the Kanchan on turn 1. Unfortunately, the rest of the hand still is kind of mediocre. Maybe some worlds for a 789 Sanchoku, some Shanta, Jinchan stuff. Maybe just
Yeah, I
not
mean,
a ton of floating times that are. Though with the
okay, with
6-pin
that
villain,
six
yeah,
pin draw, yeah, a lot of
that's
things disappear after you draw the six pin.
immediate
I
give
mean,
up.
it's still in the
Immediate
Conchan,
give
so.
To our left, Kevin's got some pretty solid shapes. Has the completed 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 in Pinzu, as well as the 2-so pair and the Kanchan in the 3, 5. So could and even fit upgrades there. So could open this for just Tanya Nomi, try to get themselves back into first place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they definitely want to hold their first place here, or like come back and get their first place, and they're now Yushan 10.
Yeah, it seems like Amy really hasn't gotten to do a whole lot this game, since her first dealer or since that yeah, she was the one that missed out on the whole like dealer fest in East. Um, but she's sitting there now with a can that's quickly drawing towards a potential Tanya Pinpu. Could get some solid value. Claire has gotten her way to a headless Ryanshan 10 with a lot of acceptance, and is greeting onto that East door for all she's worth. Might be
Okay,
the
here's a
time.
choice.
Might be the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Has headless Ishan 10. 8 tiles give Tempai. 4 tiles give good Tempai. Oh, great draw for Amy. Yeah, gonna commit to Tanya.
リーチ
There's a fantastic draw for Kevin as well. Oh, Claire pairs the 7, so is gonna dodge the deal in by shifting her Ishanten. Oh, but
Dum.
there's the epoxy cut from Kevin. That's gonna be a huge point swing in the fight for first place in this game.
Yeah, that was second dealing or first dealing to second.
Yeah, now that is a very significant gap that Kevin has opened up on Kevin.
Luckily, the dealer is the current dealer, so they don't have to look for big hands yet.
The current dealer and has a callable hand with Dora acceptance. Definitely could be worse when you open up
Boom.
the dealer hi-fi.
Yep.
Claire is a desperate woman. I'm gonna be pawning this and just trying to see what happens. I kind of
Yeah.
like it, especially with the 9 pin and the 1 mon. If you can get those pawns, you can scare a lot of people and buy yourself some time.
Yeah, I do like trying to scare the other players, but now filling in the 4, 5, 6, so it's unlikely to actually be.
カン
Oh,
Maybe just saying, you know what,
oh,
they got me. Let's go to the next game.
let's go to the next one. Okay, great. I like this greed by Claire
I
actually.
do like this breed, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in this particular instance.
ボン
Yeah,
I mean,
there's gonna
it could be so many different things. I mean, now looks like Manzu Honitsu, but you actually are waiting on some Pinzu, so
yeah,
definitely
definitely
a
time
little
to get rid
sneaky.
of the
Boom.
south, I think. Oh no, just going to try to just hold that safe tower for all she's worth. Maybe likes the fact that you can add some Dora into the. You don't even have to make this a toy toy. You could just get a like
2-pin, yeah.
yeah. You can draw a 2-pin and like take your Tenpai and like it. Like it's definitely cheaper than you want to be.
Con.
Oh, here we go
Oh,
with the Con. Oh, has missed Condora both times, but where do we see the last Formon? We don't.
we do not. We do
Boom.
not
We
see
do
less
not
Formon.
see. Yeah, we do not see the last Formon.
It does give
Senpai.
well, these concepts give both Amy and our dealer 2 Dora each. So now they're both willing to fight against it. Meanwhile,
I know. Last broadcast we talked about Fu. Oh
Dum.
no,
there
unfortunate
is dealer.
there, but great for Amy who adds some value to their hand or adds some value and makes their way towards trying to get over that 30K mark, which is so important. Yeah, I know we talked about Fu last hand, but I really just don't feel like doing the math on how much that hand would have been worth.
If it was
2
oh
terminal
yeah.
cons and a pawn, not a Kanchan weight. So it would
Yeah,
have been it's what, like 16 plus 16 plus 2 plus
4.
2. So
Yeah, plus 4.
it's like so
Somewhere.
it's plus 40. So it would have been like 2 and 60, and then on
Okay.
Sumo it would have been 270. Yes, the meme value 270. Alrighty. Very solid hand here for Amy. Gonna choose to cut that penchant. Rather just looking for like just better tiles. Um Cuts the 2 mon first. Over to our right. Kevin has a pretty reasonable hand to just get out of here and go home. Especially with that draw. It's actually Tenpai.
リーチ
Decides to take it. That's one that I might have wanted to wait for a little bit.
Yeah, especially when you have the Nakabugure, you
Yeah.
know, and
Going back a Shanten here, feel like you have a lot of acceptance for a hand that you can Dama and just risk nothing.
right,
At
and
the
you
same
have potential
at
upgrades.
the same time, Kevin Dora left has a very auspicious 8-pin that does not look like it's going to get used.
We'll see how they dodge this, because I mean they don't have any save tiles, so they just might push everything that they. Yeah, I guess the 8-pin likely to come out here.
Meanwhile, Claire is like, man, what do I do? There's just so little there to work with.
Oh, was able to dodge with the 7-pin. Yeah, Claire. At least Claire's positive, you know. She was negative, but when she dealt in.
I believe she's going to end up being negative for the session if nothing changes after this, or if the score
Oh,
situation
you mean
not change.
yeah?
Which is very brutal, but it's something. It happens for every It's nice when we're the spectators, but you know every Yakuman has a victim.
That's true. I'm glad I'm a spectator here.
Yep, me too.
Okay, so you see 5-ping thrown by Kevin to our
That Tenpai?
left. So
No,
now
it's not
now 8-pin
Tenpai.
Suji.
You have to imagine. Oh
Oh
no,
wow,
dodges
still
with the
able to dodge
Pokemon.
it.
Maybe relying on the one chance hand
No.
with Sushi and baits Amy into it. Wow, holds on for one turn and saves. I mean, 1,300 points isn't a lot, but you never know what'll matter.
Wow.
Fantastic
Well,
defensive play there that
yeah,
pays off.
Kevin came back. I mean, obviously that
Yeah. On the back of that Kokoshi wins
Kokushi
a nice
helped a
plus
lot.
38. Where does that put him on the standings? It's gonna
Yeah,
bump.
it's probably kind of. I mean, I think he's still negative, but now
Yeah.
everyone's kind of still close to each other.
Yeah, it's been a very kind of everyone kind of feeds everyone table after that third game. Everyone's gonna be very close to each other. Like I think we're actually gonna see Kevin and Ciboler gonna be in first place overall for the table at just plus 30. The overlay hasn't updated yet, but yeah, you can see he was plus 17.4 and is now moving and is now adding another plus 14. So definitely not a whole lot of swings so far. Looks like Claire's like minus 13, give or take. Amy's like plus 2, and Kevin S is gonna be about minus 20.
Yeah, so
Very
relatively close.
very wild games. Like if you had
Yeah,
told
that was
me
a
that
good
we got,
Hanshan.
I would not have expected like these results if you had told me that this was what the scores ended up being.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like each Hanshan that we've played so far, like, is like blog worthy. Like
Yeah,
we could
for
write a
real.
whole storyline
I mean,
just from this.
we had 90K first. We had then the downfall of the 90K first in the second game, and then we've had the continued downfall of the 90K first in the third game.
So it's just a tragedy at this point.
The Kokoshi's definitely making it into the blog.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
Okay.
And judging by the channel, they are just going right back into the last game. It
Perfect.
actually looks like it started 4 minutes ago. So we might need to back out again to the guest lobby, and we will be good to spectate.
All right.
Not a whole,
Well,
not a whole lot to talk about between games, but I do believe this is going to be our last game for the night. I think there might be one session that was scheduled later, but personally, I really don't have another. I don't have more than 4 games to cast in me.
yeah, I think we should finish up after this game.
Yep. Alrighty, so we will be on the lookout for that. Thank you everyone for joining us so far. We've definitely had some entertaining games in this all New York City battle. We will see. The narrative going into this is Claire gonna run it back again? Because I can't imagine she's too happy about getting done like that.
Yeah. I mean, two fourths after that amazing first run she had.
Yeah.
Now it's for the vengeance.
Hellweight Kokoshi, like I'm pretty sure if you plug that hand into a robot, that robot's gonna push the chun every time.
Right.
Because
I mean,
like
it's like
the odds of that being Tenpai are so low. But I mean,
yeah.
credit to Kevin for seeing that the hand was trash and just trying to make the most of it, and turn some trash into very much not trash.
Yeah, that was. I mean, Kokuchi is mostly luck, but you still have to like see the potential in the hand in order to actually get it. So, props. I mean,
It looks like we
Wait.
should be starting up here. It looks like Kevin is going to be our first dealer, and Claire will be our last of the night. So if we might be stuck here a little bit if Claire goes on another run.
We'll see here. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone. I reminded this is a league format, so every
yeah,
point counts in
yeah,
this.
yeah. Of course. Like that's the thing is it's like even even a plus 100 is something that can be wiped out in the course of one bad session or one bad half session. It's and vice versa. One minus 100. You know, you can get 1-2-1-2 in a session and just be right back in the thick of things.
Right.
Especially with the let's say generous format, but there's definitely I mean, obviously there are more like not demoting spots than there are demoting spots. So really like no one's gonna be out of it until like the very, very end. So just keep playing your best mahjong. Try to make something happen.
Exactly. We see Kevin, our dealer here, some pretty good shapes. Probably just looking to pair up somewhere and just take the ping fu.
Yeah. Looking like some really wide acceptance now. We've
Yeah,
got
very wide acceptance with that Sozu
three
shape.
three different Rion men. That 9 pin's gonna go right back out because that shape's just worse than everything else in the hand. To our right, we've got a Chun pair, East pair, Tone pair. There we go. That's the word. And an 8 mon Onko. Definitely could do some interesting stuff. Maybe even get like a complex like 4-sided or 3-sided weight if you fill in the Monzu correctly after the East palm potentially.
Yeah. And we see Claire immediately throwing Dora out, so not looking for value here.
Yeah. Does have a North pair. Could pawn the has 4 pairs actually. She could even try to pawn this to maybe like a North Poi Toy. If she was feeling particularly spicy about the hand. We're probably gonna see
Yeah.
that first pawn here. Pawn Tuso would be my
Pawn.
guess. No, pawn 3 pin just
And
decides
meanwhile,
to
we have the Ishanten for Kevin on the right
Pawn.
with hidden Onko
yep. There's gonna
tone.
be the second pawn now. Claire is Ishanten with 2 terminal Ryanmen, which are Class A is how they are referred to. Here's gonna be an interesting choice.
Ooh.
Decides to cut the 2-3 pin, trying to give themselves more Tanya ups. This is actually so you lose pin to a lot of
Chi.
the time here, but you are waiting on 3, 4, and 5 so. And
Right.
now with that 4-mon draw, you can even get the pin fu back if and take the Ariane bet.
Yeah, with the Ape code to boot.
This 6-0 might be coming out and dealing and feeding Claire her 1K. Not just yet. Claire does not decide to calm
Okay.
down to Hidaka Tanki.
Another.
Nope, doesn't want it. Interesting. Personally, I probably would have just cut the 4-cell by now. I think the Peiko is a little bit too good to not just guarantee.
Yeah. I mean, this is wider. This is just taking the wider weight instead.
Yeah.
And
I'd
okay,
prefer to have
so
guaranteed value. Ooh, this is Ishanten for Amy. If she can find something around that 6-0, she might be able to save herself. And we've also got we've also got Nishanten to our right as we have that Chun or Ton Anko that was formed. Declines to call for Tenpai. Oh, but now Amy's damned if you
Don't.
do, damned if you don't. That's gonna be a 1K deal and
okay, not too sad about 1K, but
not the way you want
yeah,
to start the game, but it also is like,
whatever.
it happens.
And you never know. You probably killed someone's big hand.
Yeah, there were definitely some hands with some more value lurking there.
Oh, do we see another Kokushi attempt?
I
Probably
would
no.
go
Probably
for it.
not.
I'd go for it here with no hesitation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I
6,
didn't see
7.
Pawn.
that.
It was 8 types with no pair, or sorry,
Eight.
8 types and a pair.
Okay, so more reasonable not to take it, but
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, like, what are you gonna do with a hand
well,
otherwise?
right. It's probably just well, yeah. Now it's just looking like
It
a
is, it
1,000
is,
point
it
hand.
is, it is Kevin again. You know, like a little bit surprising he doesn't believe.
And
Meanwhile,
we have Claire with a lot of pairs.
yeah,
Matsu and South.
four
Four
pairs.
pairs.
Decides that the 2-4 Kanchan is her worst shape there.
Pawn.
Doesn't want to 6 block it. Does pawn that. Is now in a pretty decent Ishanten. Again, just like gonna be 1K, maybe 1300 with the right draws. But I mean, the less hands there are in a game, the less variance there is. Maybe Claire's just kind of happy, happy going home tonight with and trying to get herself back to an overall positive.
Yep. We see Amy is Ishanten here for just Haku Dora 1.
Hakudora 1, yep.
Chi.
Probably, yep, but Claire's gonna beat her to Tenpai. Chooses interestingly to take this Chi. Could have Chi'd the 789 and taken the oh wait, no. If you Chi 789 there, oh no, you just end up on 6, so South Shabo. Never mind. For some reason I thought that Chi would end up in a Rionman if you took the 789 Chi. But no, this makes more sense. The 9-0 is just a better weight than the 6-0, even if Amy would have dealt into the 6-0 immediately.
Well, now we might not see the 9-0 come out because we have 4 pairs for Kevin to our left.
It's gonna be 3 pairs and an Anko, so maybe it's a different Yakuman for Kokashi for Kevin this time. Meanwhile, Amy's still just trying to make this Ishanten work. And in fact, definitely looking like a Toitsuba hand. As our dealer Kevin has quite a few pairs in the Anko, or yeah, quite a few pairs in an Anko himself.
Yeah, we see another Anko from Amy. Not that it. Oh, and there's Tenpai.
Yeah.
Here it is waiting on 4-7 pin.
4-7 pin looking very strong. 6 on the wall.
6
Or
on the
sorry,
wall.
5 on the wall. 5 on the wall. Claire's got one.
Yeah. So Claire's waiting on 2 Souths that are in the wall, and that's it.
South was cut turn 1. So just one tile on
Just
the wall.
one South. Ah, I see. Yeah.
Second Anko drawn for Kevin to our left. Also has the ability to palm that north, but chooses not to. Interesting. Maybe decides that they don't really want to commit to that. But personally,
Ooh,
I kind of
Tenpai.
yep, that's gonna be Tenpai on Chitoi Dora Tanki. It is a hell weight. Claire just cut 2 of them.
Kan.
Oh, there's the con for value, but no. Oh, a third
Okay. Oh
Anko.
my god.
No way.
And neither of them deal into any of the players here. So.
No way, man. All right.
Okay. So likely that Amy wins it. Wins the hand
Surprisingly that
before
we
anyone else.
see. All right, there it is. We're gonna wait 8 mon. Surprisingly, okay, there's the sumo.
Okay.
Surprisingly, actually, it didn't end up mattering, but the 9 pin was actually Shompai. I'm a little bit surprised that was the tile that was cut.
Oh, versus the 5 pin.
Yeah, for that Suanko, we do know that the 9 so were in Claire's hands, so they were never being able to be drawn. But anything else could have paired.
Okay, but this is the most likely result. Amy winning
one of
6
these
times.
Suankos is gonna hit.
One of these days. One of these days.
I mean, one of these Suankos is gonna hit. It's gonna be in my game at this rate. I've already played my session for this week, so someone better hit before this week is over. I don't need that karma going into next week.
It could be yours, you know.
I don't believe in that. I'm definitely the type to go for it. I'm not the Korek of Yakuman aren't real. But
All right. Well, meanwhile, we have Claire with a lot of Yamen shapes, a lot of good shapes, probably, and has some door acceptance in her hand.
Yeah.
Well,
dealer Amy's hand is actually pretty nice here. If in exactly the world where you get the 7-mon fill in, the 789 Sanchoku is looking really good.
Yeah, you definitely need that 7-mon first, though. Otherwise, you need to cut that pen.
Any other fill in, you just play the Penchon and just try to take maybe Tanyao in some worlds, but like try to draw the door and get a Rion then.
Yeah. Can't give up the good weight.
Claire's also got some E2 potential over there. Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, yeah.
No, it's just too bad because like you're giving up your door to do it otherwise. Though the 6-9 pin is not looking too great. It's already 3 cut. Oh man, there's gonna be Tenpai immediately rewarded. Definitely just jam this. It's gonna be Riichi Dora. Potential for some Urasan. We only see 2 of the 3 pin. What does anyone else have that could potentially fight this? Kevin to our left has an Ishanten with a. I mean, if you had to pick a random tile to push, 1 pin's not the worst. The problem is it's really got to draw the door to feel like you've got any value to actually like fight this because it's not Pinfu and it's not Tanyao. Claire is Rian Shanten. That's Ishanten, but it's some tricky tiles to cut. She decides to play Sotogawa Tuso. Actually, no, it's just Gembutsu Tuso because Kevin Duarte across from us had played Sotogawa Tuso. And there's going to be these sumo. No Ura, so just 2,000 points all, but Amy is now in a fairly healthy lead with everyone early in the game still, but everyone below 30k. Definitely something you want to keep, as we've mentioned a few times. That is now a plus 20 if you're the only one above 30K, not a plus 15.
Yeah, it's very good for Amy keeping this going. And last Hanchan didn't seem like she had many hands going for her. So
Yeah, it really just felt like she was just there spectating and just like, you know what? At least I'm not the one that dealt into the Kokoshi. That was her entire claim to third place, it felt like.
all right, so I mean, this is Ishanten for her. So
Gonna be a quick palm, headless Ishanten, but has a Nobutan with some help that can get her into a quick tempai here. And just add another Homba to the pile. It is not a big Homba like they play sometimes in NYC. It is just a small 300-point Homba, and there it is.
yeah,
That's
there it
the
is.
tempai. Hard to imagine this doesn't win, but we've seen weirder things. In fact, 6-0 might even be cut now. Like that's a very interesting shape that Claire's got going on.
Yeah, I mean, you do have
Yeah, I actually don't know what I would cut out of that. That's a really weird shape.
Yeah, I mean, with 4 pairs, you probably just keep the 4 pairs.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like, which floater do you not want?
Yeah, which one do you not want exactly? All right, so that was a really quick hand. Quick
Oh, hello,
1500.
5 dragons. Kevin,
Oh wow.
like, you gotta stop, man. Like, come on. You can save some chances for the rest of us.
It might happen.
I mean, there was the one session that had 2 Yakuman in the beta league.
Real. Oh yeah, that was an insane one. Okay,
What?
well, one Hatu or one Haku out. This Haku might come out,
Yeah.
and then Big
Yeah,
Dragons is.
yeah, because the thing is, if he can, especially if he can pair the Haku before it gets dealt, this is definitely the kind of table, or sorry, pair the Haku before it gets palmed. Oh, gonna play the 8-pin. Not sure I love the 8-pin cut, if I'm honest. I want to cut the 8 so 9 so, because the 8-pin could end up being like, if you're going for Daisungen, it could end up being your Shampong. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is the type of table that is definitely gonna jam that Haku. But gets the tempai the turn after Claire cuts it. So our Daisungen is dead.
But you still got the slow shotgun.
Yeah,
Still have Mangon.
I think the only weight here is I think the only way to accept here are the Haku or the 9 Mandora. Because honestly, like it's a waste for this hand to not be a Mangon.
Yeah.
Especially in Akanashi.
Oh, there
Oh
it
my
is.
gosh. No.
Claire once again helping out.
It sometimes it just is that way.
Yeah, I mean,
Claire just keeps
2
drawing
out already.
white tiles. It's like if you're Claire, like you saw one Tadashi after you cut the Haku. Like,
yeah,
God.
it was. It was like they had to be Templar, but after you discard your Haku,
That's definitely a blow to the old mental. But at the same time, this
it could have been worse.
this is a dealer hand to be excited about.
Yeah, this is definitely some good shapes here. I mean, you already have a Dora Incorporation here.
Oh, and a fantastic draw.
Yeah. We have Kevin actually with good shapes too, so
Amy's
not
gonna
too
pull
easy.
that East. Is actually in Nishanten herself. Decides to give up her Dora acceptance for the Rionmen. Just wants, doesn't want to be too greedy, just wants to keep her first place nice and simple. Knows all too well what Claire can do with an unchecked dealership. Oh,
Okay, good
speaking
draw.
of, adds a fantastic draw.
Okay, Ishan 10 for Claire.
Looking like we're gonna end up most likely on a 1-4 8-pin Nobitan weight, which if Amy gets tempai in the wrong way might get dealt into if she ends up trying to chase this. If you're Claire here, do you palm this 8-pin if it comes out? Looks like it's not going to.
It's hard to actually do it. Actually, you could probably do it.
It feels
mean,
like such a waste of the value though when you're already at this point situation. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like it's not necessarily the easiest shape to fill once
It's
one
not
8.
bad because if you draw another Dora, you can still incorporate it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think I would just.
There's tempai for Amy waiting for 7. So, 4-so definitely not a tile we're ever gonna see come out from either Claire or Kevin to our right, who is also has his own Rian Shanten with Adora. That's actually going to be Tempai as well on the Russian Tanki for Kevin across from us. Definitely not the Nakabukure, the actual term, but I like Russian Tanki because it's funny.
I've never heard of Russian Taki before.
Reach.
Yeah, definitely going to take the Nobutan weight now. Is Amy willing to jam his 3-pin on the Apatsu? Doesn't
I
really
guess
seem like
you
he
have
does.
to
Yeah,
here.
like what else are you gonna do? Like you
I
you
mean,
have
you have good weight.
yeah, you've got a good weight. You've got one Genbutsu, so like you're gonna be in trouble next turn anyway.
Yeah,
Formon
safe.
now
Chi.
I believe we're gonna see player call this. Yeah.
Okay.
Plays the 4-pin Nakasuji. Just trying to find. It looks like the first so is available. Wants to avoid the furry 10. There's only one cell in the wall. Not super likely to be furry 10, at least not permanently. There's the last 8-pin, and there's gonna
Don't.
be the deal in from Kevin. Gives Kevin the Riichi Nomi. Definitely a small victory, but does move the game into south and makes his odds of getting. I mean, at a certain point, like you got to be kind of happy with this session so far. If you're Kevin, I believe he is the most positive of anyone at this table with a modest plus 30. Um, so like if you can just like lower your odds of getting last in this game, like that's really all you can really ask for.
Yeah, don't want to push your luck too much. Well, here we have Kevin or Kevin S. Ishan 10 here. Has to fill in like the Conchan. Well, it's waiting on the Dora Conchan, and you'll
Your
be
contract is
happy.
definitely not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
Uh,
at least you have some value, guaranteed value here. And we have
Interesting.
temp 5 for Kevin to our right. Is that temp 5? No, it's not. Ishan
Uh,
10.
Not quite. Yep. Oh yeah, Yishan 10. I really like the they find if they fill the 4-7, I really like the Nobaton.
Oh
Oh, and
no.
that's a huge that's probably what a fantastic draw for Kevin
Reach.
to our right. Back to back fantastic draws for the Kevins, but one gives Tempai and one does not. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to imagine it's just a 2-pin. Just take the Riichi Hatsu. We will see if and to which Tempai that Kevin can get here. Because if you draw the 9-mon here, it's gonna be very tragic. Ooh, that's a tough one for Amy.
Mm.
Who is actually shift this to a Cheetoy. She does have 4 pairs. Chooses to cut the 8 so. Oh, that's a fantastic draw, but how are you gonna reach
Reach.
Yeah.
it? I imagine it should be a 9 so Richie.
Yeah, nice. So you
Fact,
give up a little
but
value, but
yeah, you
definitely
lose some
safer.
foo, but like it's Sotogawa.
Okay,
Sotogawa
so now
being a tile that is behind an early discarded tile. So because that 8 so that was cut early makes it less likely that the 9 so is needed. It's more likely that 8 so was just cut from a floating
floating
nothingness
tile.
or
Oh,
a
Don't.
finished shape.
there it is. Dora.
We see Ura. That
Yeah.
one Ura. That's the worst feeling Ura in the game. I swear. The Ura to go from dealer 240 to dealer 340 is a brutal feeling.
Well, I still think 430 to 530 is not
Well,
great, but yeah, you know.
no, I meant like for the one who's getting hit by it.
The one. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you don't want to see like 3 Han become 4 Han and under, but like for me, like 240 becoming 340 is like the jump between 39 and like 77 is so much. Like if I deal at a 39, it's just like man, like okay, like I'm pretty okay with that, especially if I was like making a justified decision in my head. But then when it flips and it's 77, it's like it's so sad.
Yep. Kevin with the great Ishanten here. Perfect Ishanten with the Dora in hand.
Yeah, and on turn
Guaranteed
5,
good weight.
can even Sakigiri the 6-pin now and just lock in the Pinfu. But
Uh,
after succeeding so much with a 240 Ricci last hand, probably wants to keep the idea around.
yeah, I mean, I like just, I don't think you need a Sakagiri here. You have to just go
I
full
mean, there's
speed.
also like the psychological aspect of like if you Tadashi a 7-pin, 6-pin, and then end up waiting 5-8-pin, like it seems like a little bit more likely to get wrong.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like that shape's actually kind of common, but maybe that's just me.
It is, but it's just like it's not necessarily so common that like you're able to cut like you're cutting like you have 6-6-7-pin and you're cutting one of each of them that early. Though with
Well, quote unquote early, right? Because if you reach next tile, then it's not actually early.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah.
But now
Everyone else
it's
is here.
yeah. Sorry.
I'll go ahead.
No, you're good. I didn't have anything really to say.
Yeah, I was just gonna comment on other players' hands, which everyone's still kind of far. No, that draw did help.
Yeah, both two
Keep into it
consecutive
right.
fills for Kevin and Amy. Interesting. Can walk in Tanya out and has to cut the door to do so, but does choose to do it.
Yeah, I mean both worth one foo or one han. So
Here's definitely the part of the table where I'm considering where I would have wanted to maybe Sakagiri the 6 pin when you drew that north.
yeah,
Is
now that it's getting later on
yeah, it's
in
a
the
little bit late.
hand.
Like it sucks that this hasn't hit Tenpai in this long, but that 6 pin is going to be a liability soon. Amy is Ishanten for a Riichi Nomi with the potential Dora acceptance, though the Dora is 2-cut and Claire is holding one of them as well. Speaking of Claire, her hand is just not really finding anything. Just a bunch of shapes that are just not filled, despite, I mean, what are you gonna do? They don't fill, they don't fill. Kevin's in a really awkward Ishanten right now. Has Shanton Penchan.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of them are bad weights, right? You can't really improve it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can maybe, like, get some flexibility in the Manzu shape. Oh, there's Senpai for Amy. Does find the Dora, so it's gonna be Riichi Tenfu
Riichi.
Dora. That one mon's kind of sneaky. That 2 mon was cut pretty early. That's the kind of thing that I might deal into on like a if I was like feeling frivolous with my Mawashi. So
Right.
I definitely someone who
Oh, could come out
trusts
here.
much. Yep,
Yeah,
there.
I
Done.
imagine it comes out here. No other safe tiles.
First place deals into second place. We're gonna see a panic switch and Ura
Oh, or two.
clearly should have somehow waited on the 2 or the 3 mon to guarantee the Ura 3.
uh,
Huge swing there to Mangan deal in.
yeah.
If we
Um,
could, yeah, looks like we are into the next hand. If we could swap over to the dealer perspective.
yeah, dealer actually has two completed shapes, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah,
two
and
suits.
that 6 mon pair does not have to stay a pair. The 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku is very live.
Yeah,
Home.
there's a lot of options here.
Alternatively, I probably prefer if you're Kevin here, like if you draw like a 4 mon right now. Oh my gosh, what a draw!
Riichi.
You're
Oh,
just
you're
gonna
gonna throw away Dora here. Okay, I mean it's good weight,
I
but
think it makes sense because like it's kind of awkward to upgrade there here.
yeah, it's not like you're guaranteed Tonyo anyways.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably like I mean, you could 9 mon, but then like your end weight's probably gonna be bad, and you can 2 3 mon, but then like who knows how long it's gonna take to find a door connector.
Yeah, you're a dealer.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
unfortunately.
that's how long it'll take.
Chi.
You're 9 mon
Unfortunately.
9 mon here. You're very happy, but it's definitely not a play that gets rewarded consistently. That is gonna be Ishanten for Honitsu Haku, for Amy. Maybe a little bit more aggressive than this hand needs to be from her first place into a dealer Ricci, but at the same time, like you don't really have a ton of options that look good.
We do see 3 Dora already discarded, so
That's true
Dong.
as well. Yeah, when the dealer reaches
oh,
in the door like that, hopefully you're just dodging Ura here. The true tragedy is getting Ura Karma and 5 mon
right.
flip.
Getting her at 3 Arasan.
Yep.
Okay, well we see Kevin on the left with another 2 pairs of dragons.
Yep. Shun is no, the
Home.
Shun is 2 out in Kevin and Amy's hand and immediately comes out from no, not from Amy. So technically Daisungen's still alive, but it would require a lot.
Right.
It would require
Yeah,
Amy holding that Shun until Kevin got Senpai for it and decided to cut it for some reason.
Meanwhile, a lot of
Think
pairs for
yeah.
dealer.
Yeah, they're dealer definitely making their way towards that type of hand. Claire draws the Dora across from us. Has to choose which shape to cut. And definitely, yeah, chooses the 1/2 so Penchon, keeping the Nakabukure
Oh
of
no.
the 4 plus. Oh man, you've got to be kidding me. Let's check 5 and 6 pin all live. Every hand.
Every hand. Okay, we still need to find one more pair for him, but
Uh, Kevin to our left is Ishanten to stop this madness. Needs to find a Haku or a 9 pin.
Home.
Oh, that's
there.
gonna be Senpai. Could pawn the Haku for Dora Tanki. That is an option they have. Though with the 2 pin coming out here, it's a little bit iffy. I think you just take your senpai and like it and try to hold your second place above. All right, no.
All right,
I
take it
like.
away then.
I was expecting at least a pause there, but no, he had no interest.
You know, okay, well, here's the choice. Do
Yeah,
you
choice.
it's one out already, so you're waiting
On
on
one
two.
hand, it is Mangan. On the
Boom.
other hand, man, you really just shouldn't expect to win this hand. As I got punished really hard for trying to for greeting a Dora Tunky in one of my games. So at the same time, Amy might
No.
deal her.
Oh,
Mangan goes right
wow.
back. Now we've got a really close game at the top again.
Yeah, flopped again.
This
Kevin
is one of those
first
games where
place
it's like
here.
it's a really interesting dynamic because when you've got like a game of like the haves and the have-nots, like it ends up like the game tends to speed up a little bit as third place and fourth place try
Boom.
to like take cheap hands to stay ahead of like
Of
their
each other.
counterpart, and first and
Yeah.
second
Boom.
do the same.
Right. Okay, we see two really fast calls from Kevin to our left.
Yeah,
Trying to keep.
those are both Yaku. I mean, he's got a looks like he's gonna try to greet this for Honitsu.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, it's not like that 7-1 was gonna do anything for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep that potential.
It's one of those things where it's like if this was ladder, like I'm probably not making this a Honitsu, but because this is the league, like if you can get a Mangan here, like all of a sudden you're very much in range of getting yourself into above 30K, which is
Yeah.
as we've harped on quite a bit tonight, like a very important score barrier.
Okay.
Well,
And
Amy in front of us, Izzy Shanten,
Yep.
has a little bit, has quite a few like has some flexibility in what her final weight can be here,
Yeah.
or
I do
what the
like just looking for Tanya for him.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
definitely
I
like.
would.
I think I like 2-man Pone here, or 7 so Pone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy to sing this open. Ooh, that's a fantastic draw though. And just cut 9 so see if you can get any Peiko out of it, get some value.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yep.
You still keep the acceptance.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Claire's hand is it's not it looks kind of impressive, but it's just not really something that's gonna like perform. At least not very easily.
Okay. You on 10 for Kevin across from us.
Oh, fantastic draw. Fills the Dora Penchant. So it is gonna be Ishanten as well for Kevin to our left.
Okay. Well, actually, a lot of big hands because Kevin across from us has two Dora, and then yeah, Kevin to our left is
Yeah.
Honi to
Fire
Dora
Cross
1.
Dora as well. Um, honestly, not a very easy hand to parse. Just from how complex the Pinzu shapes are.
Yeah, I mean there was a 3-5 Conchan versus the 1-3
Yeah,
Conchan.
Amy could palm this for Tenpai. Does decide to do so. Probably likes the fact that one, the 5-pin just came out, and two, she can shift this to a Toy Toy. Tanyao Toy Toy here would be a pretty big deal.
Exactly.
Oh, you really should hold on to this 8-pin, yeah, because now you can sheave a 6-pin to Tenpai.
Yeah, Claire's hand is actually really hard to parse here.
Riichi.
Wish
Yeah.
there was.
It's I think what she really wants is a 3-pin draw. Speaking of 3-pin draw, we do have the Riichi Dora 2 here from our first place player. That is gonna be Kevin does play the safe. Oh, that's Tenpai for Claire as well. You have to
Beach.
think she's gonna chase this. Yeah, has the safe 2-pin, but now Kevin's got to make a choice. Oh, and Amy gets Tenpai, so now the 2-mon's gonna be a triple roll.
Oh.
The 2-mon's gonna be a triple roll, and there's 2 in the wall.
Okay,
Oh,
and
and
Kevin to our left also
and
hit
Kevin is
Tenpai.
Tenpai.
Which way? I guess this way it's the safest.
Safest style for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the 9-pin. Oh, the
Oh,
2 set for tournament.
all the other players are like looking at their hand. Like, I wanted to sumo that one.
Imagine the world where there was like some random chi there, and Kevin to our left draws that 2-mon. Oh, would have been very funny, but also very bad for him.
Yeah, that would have been an expensive triple run.
Yeah, but now I mean
Wow.
outside of that Hellweight Shosangan, Claire really has just not had much of an impact on this game. Has got to try to use this last deal to get herself out of last, but this hand is just not it. And with a south pawn across the table, this might be curtains.
Yeah, especially when it's with Amy with the Ishan 10. Could be hard, but
Yeah.
I mean she has to fight for this if she wants to get the third at least.
No,
Yeah.
oh yeah. But yeah, meanwhile, Amy has pretty much lost any shot at getting first place in this game.
Right.
So it can really just take like his Pinfu Nomi that she's shot
Con.
for and just dama it. Oh, we do see the con. Very
Oh.
aggressive, despite like probably not. There's probably not a world where Kevin gets a takes his hand and gets it above 30K with it.
I think
But
there's like some interesting choices for Amy. Like if she draws the Forza, do you keep your summon Chun or do you try to go for Sanshoku?
yeah,
I mean, points do matter, and it's
yeah,
not
I
like
think I think I would definitely. I don't think the Sun Menchan is a good enough upgrade to give up Sanchoku shot.
yeah,
Not when you need points like that.
with the two
There,
Han.
unfortunate backfire on the early Sakigiri of the 4-pin. But Riichi Nomi is not really something you want to risk right now anyway, especially with people with Claire with a desperate dealer Dora all over the place that you don't see, and just a whole lot of other stuff that you really just don't want to be on the don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
Claire looking like she's moving towards Tanyao. Just try to find something open. Just get out. That's gonna be interesting. Oh, it looks like Kevin's trying to greed this as much as possible. Sees like a potential for us non-Chanta Sanshoku with Dora 2 on the Dora 1
Chi.
pin Tanki. So let's see,
Yeah, right. Each on 10 for that.
It's only non-Chanta Sanshoku. It's only gonna be a Mangan, like only. But you know when you list that many Yaku, oh, that's gonna be Tenpai. Wow, really, the greedy route for this hand really paid off.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course.
Long.
Of course, Claire deals in.
Yep.
I
Is it?
mean,
Oh, it's Dora 3. Right, right. No, the Naito. It is a Hanuman. Oh,
here we go.
right. I for some reason only saw the one pin Dora. I forgot that the Naito was also Dora. Yeah,
So
Hanuman.
close to the 30K.
Yeah, but
There.
Kevin does get themselves up to a 37. But yeah, that's just a brutal. That's a brutal life for Claire. So 90K first and like 3 consecutive fourths, really just due to like consecutive just awful unlucky dealings.
Right. And Kevin Fallil was like basically taking all of her points in
Yeah,
both third
everything
and
really
fourth
turned
games.
around for him after that Kokushi, which tends to happen. But actually the big winner tonight is going to be it's actually very close between everyone. Kevin N is gonna finish with like a plus 26. Claire's gonna finish, unfortunately, the big loser, like a minus 55, which is just absolutely like almost unbelievable. Uh, Kevin S actually gets themselves all the way up to a plus 16, and
Wow.
Amy will finish with a plus 12, 12 and a half.
Everyone's really close up
Yeah,
in that area now.
yeah, no like big standout performance really in terms of like point gain. Just a whole lot of really messed up stuff that all happened to one person.
Yeah. A lot of big hands in this Hanshan.
Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. That was the last game of the session. In fact, the last game of A2. So the standings you see on screen are how we are going to end A2 for this first week of games. That does in fact drop Claire all the way down to last place in the pool. But meanwhile, Kevin, and Amy are in third, fifth, and sixth respectively. Very no real breakout performance so far. Minko with a plus 72 is definitely the big winner of this week. But lots of lot. I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players between plus and minus 16. It's lots of stuff to be had, and sorry, lots of things still to come with 20 more games still to play. But anyway, I have been Max slash Light Pink Yoshi.
I'm Anthony, also known as Mister.
We have been your commentators tonight. Thank you very much for joining us for the Battle of New York. Uh, we appreciate you coming with us on this, and thank you for sticking around. We did see our first Yakuman, which is definitely something exciting. We will be calling it a night. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.